The ancients whispered a timeless truth, one that has been buried under the noise of our modern world. They taught that great wealth is not pursued, but attracted. That abundance is not a prize awarded for frantic effort, but a natural response to inner alignment. They understood that the universe does not give you what you want, it gives you what you are. It does not respond to the desperation in your voice, but to the resonance of your being. This is the forgotten law. This is the silent power we have come here to remember. We have been taught to chase, to hustle, to build, to struggle. We have been conditioned to believe that our value is measured by the sweat on our brow and the weight of our anxieties. We treat life as a battlefield of scarcity, fighting for our small piece of a finite pie, and we wonder why we are so tired. We wonder why, even when we achieve what we thought we wanted, there is a hollow echo inside. This is because we have been looking outward. We have been seeking a treasure in the world of shadows, while the gold resides within our own consciousness. There is a current of infinite supply that has always flowed beneath the cracked surface of our hurried lives, unheard, unfelt, forgotten. So, I ask you, as you settle into this space, to consider a profound possibility. What if abundance is not something you must build, but something you can simply remember? What if the feeling of lack is not an accurate reflection of reality, but a form of collective amnesia? A veil of illusion woven from generations of fear and doubt. What if your true nature, the very essence of your consciousness, is infinite, whole, and eternally abundant? This journey is not about learning a new trick. It is not a set of rules to follow or a system to manipulate. It is an unlearning, a dissolving, a gentle returning. This is an invitation to stop doing and to simply be, to be the space where miracles can take root, to be the silence in which the whispers of the universe can finally be heard. We will not be adding more information to your already burdened mind. We will be creating space. We will be calibrating your energy, not by force, but by recognition of the truth that you are not a beggar pleading with a distant cosmos. You are the cosmos itself, experiencing a temporary dream of limitation. This is your awakening. Let us now, together, turn our attention inward. Let us begin. Let us begin by dismantling the greatest illusion ever sold to humanity, the illusion that money is your goal. We have been taught to see it as a destination, a prize, a tangible object to be acquired. We chase paper, we hoard numbers in digital ledgers, and we believe with every fiber of our being that the accumulation of these symbols is the path to freedom and security. But this is a profound misunderstanding of the cosmic order. Money is not the prize. Money, in its purest form, is merely an echo. It is a physical shadow cast by a non-physical light. The true currency, the primordial gold that dictates the flow of all material wealth into your life, is your consciousness. Your inner state of being is the only asset that truly matters. Before you can manifest limitless resources in your hands, you must first cultivate limitless peace in your heart. This is not poetry, it is physics. It is the fundamental law of energetic correspondence. The universe is a grand mirror, and it can only reflect the face you show it. If you approach it with the face of lack, of fear, of desperate need, it will dutifully reflect back to you a world filled with reasons to feel lacking, fearful, and needy. Think of your own being as a powerful broadcasting station, one that is on air 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It is never silent. Even in your sleep, it hums with a specific, measurable frequency. This broadcast is not made of words. Your conscious mind, the part of you that repeats affirmations or tries to think positive thoughts, is merely the announcer in the lobby. The real transmission comes from the deepest part of the station, from the engine room of your subconscious. It is a broadcast composed of your deepest beliefs, your oldest wounds, your most ingrained emotional patterns, and the silent assumptions you hold about yourself and the world. This signal, this energetic signature, radiates from you in all directions, interacting with the quantum field from which all material things are born. The universe does not hear your words of wanting. It feels the vibration of your being. Now, let us speak of the frequency of lack. This is the default setting for much of humanity, a signal we have been conditioned to emit since childhood. The frequency of lack is not just the thought, "I don't have enough money." It is a full-body experience. It is the subtle clenching in your stomach when you think about your bills. It is the quickening of your pulse when you see someone else's success and feel a pang of envy. It is the quiet, persistent whisper in the back of your mind that says, "You are not worthy. You are not safe. The world is a dangerous place. You must fight and struggle to survive." This frequency is made of anxiety, comparison, jealousy, and fear. When you are broadcasting this frequency, you are a living antenna for more experiences that will validate these feelings. You will attract unexpected expenses. You will find that opportunities seem to pass you by, or that the people you deal with are themselves operating from a place of scarcity and suspicion. You will work harder and harder, pushing against a tide of resistance, because the signal you are sending out is one of struggle. The universe, in its infinite and impersonal wisdom, simply responds by giving you more to struggle against. It is not punishing you, it is matching you. Conversely, there is the frequency of abundance. This is your natural state. It is the frequency of the universe itself. This is not the loud, arrogant broadcast of the ego, boasting of its possessions. It is a quiet, steady, powerful hum of peace. The frequency of abundance feels like expansion in your chest. It is the feeling of deep trust that you are supported, even when the evidence is not yet visible. It is the genuine warmth of gratitude for the air you breathe, for the simple beauty of a tree, for the small kindnesses you encounter. It is the feeling of being open, creative, and generative. When you broadcast this frequency, you are not telling the universe what you want. You are aligning yourself with the very nature of the universe, which is creative, expansive, and infinitely generous. When your inner state is one of peace and trust, you become a magnet for ideas, for people, for resources that resonate with that peace and trust. The right people will seem to appear out of nowhere. An unexpected idea that solves a major problem will drop into your mind during a quiet walk. A check will arrive in the mail that you had forgotten about. These are not random accidents. This is the law of resonance in action. The world is not changing around you. You are receiving a different reflection because you are presenting the mirror with a different face. Consider this metaphor more deeply. Imagine your consciousness is a radio transmitter. If you have the dial set to 98.7 FM, the frequency of not enough, you cannot, under any law of physics, hear the music playing on 103.5 FM, the frequency of all is well. It is impossible. You can stand by the radio and yell at it, beg it to play the music from the other station. You can work 3 jobs to earn enough money to buy a more expensive radio. But as long as the dial remains fixed on 98.7, you will only ever hear the static, the bad news, and the sad songs of lack. The journey of manifestation is not about building a better radio. You already have the most magnificent transmitter ever created. The journey is about realizing you have the power to turn the dial. How do you identify the signal you are sending? It requires a new level of self-awareness. It requires that you become a silent observer of your own inner world. Throughout your day, especially when dealing with money, begin to notice the subtle reactions within your body. When you pay a bill, do you feel a sense of contraction, a feeling of loss? That is the frequency of lack. Or can you release it with gratitude, thankful that you had the resources to pay and trusting that more will flow. That is the frequency of abundance. When you see a display of immense wealth, does your mind immediately jump to judgment or envy? That's obscene, or why them and not me? That is the frequency of lack. Or can you look upon it and feel a sense of joy, celebrating it as evidence of the universe's infinite potential, knowing that the same source is available to you? That is the frequency of abundance. This is not about policing your thoughts or pretending you don't feel what you feel. That is a form of resistance that only strengthens the negative signal. The first step is simply to notice, to observe without judgment, to say, "Ah, there it is." The feeling of constriction, the thought of comparison. I see it. In the moment you see it as an object, as a broadcast signal that is moving through you, you begin to separate from it. You realize that you are not the fear, you are not the anxiety. You are the awareness that is observing the fear and anxiety. You are the station manager, not the panicked broadcast. This observation is the beginning of all alchemy. It is the moment you walk from the lobby of the conscious mind into the engine room of your being. You are no longer a victim of your broadcast. You are the conscious operator who has come to inspect the machinery. Your thoughts are the paint, but your feeling state is the canvas. Your inner world is the blueprint, and the outer world is the finished building. You cannot build a palace from a blueprint of a prison. You cannot experience a life of ease and flow while your inner world is a constant storm of worry and resistance. The work, then, is not out there. It is not in the next job, the next investment, the next business plan. Those things are secondary. They are the effects. The cause is here, inside you, now. The cause is the silent, humming vibration of your internal world that commands the attention of the cosmos. Understanding this is the first and most crucial secret. Before you can ask the universe for anything, you must first be honest with yourself about what you are already broadcasting. For it is this signal, and this signal alone, that reality is responding to. We have spoken of consciousness as the true currency, the broadcasting station that shapes your reality. Now, we must address the space into which this new reality is to be born. There is an ancient Zen story of a professor who came to a master to inquire about the nature of enlightenment. As the master began to speak, the professor repeatedly interrupted with his own opinions and theories. The master calmly began to pour tea into the professor's cup. He poured, and soon the tea overflowed, spilling onto the table. The startled professor cried out, "Stop! The cup is full. You cannot add any more." The master looked at him and said, "Like this cup, you are full of your own opinions and speculations. How can I show you Zen unless you first empty your cup?" This parable holds one of the most profound and misunderstood secrets of manifestation. You are praying for abundance. You are asking the universe for a tide of wealth, opportunity, and well-being to flow into your life. But your cup is already full. It is brimming with old beliefs, with past failures, with the rigid expectations of how things should be, with the ghosts of yesterday's pains and the anxieties for 1,000 imaginary tomorrows. There is no room for anything new to enter. The universe is standing before you with a pitcher of pure gold, but it cannot pour, for your cup is already overflowing with murky water. The spiritual path to abundance is not a path of accumulation, it is a path of release. It is the courageous, sacred act of emptying your cup. What is this clutter that fills your cup to the brim? It is more than just conscious thought. It is the dense, heavy furniture of your inner world. First, there are the outdated beliefs you have inherited. Beliefs about your own limitations, passed down through your family line like antique silver. Our family has always had to work hard for every penny. Money doesn't grow on trees. You have to be ruthless to be rich. These are not your truths. They are programs, installed in your subconscious before you had the capacity to question them. They run silently in the background, shaping your decisions, ensuring that your reality never strays too far from the familiar territory of struggle. Each of these beliefs is a heavy stone at the bottom of your cup. Then, there is the suffocating weight of your personal history, the business that failed, the investment that went sour, the time you were betrayed, the shame of a past mistake. You carry these events not as memories, but as living identities. You are not a person who once experienced failure. You have become a failure. You are not a person who was once hurt. You are a victim. Every time you replay these stories in your mind, you are drinking the old, stagnant water again. You are re-energizing the very frequency you claim you want to escape. You are telling the universe, "See, this is who I am. This is my story. Send me more experiences to confirm it." Letting go of these stories is terrifying because for so long they have defined you. But you cannot write a new chapter while your hands are still clinging to the old one. The most subtle and insidious clutter of all is the tyranny of how. You have a desire, a beautiful vision of a more abundant life. But then the logical mind, the ego, immediately hijacks the process. It insists on knowing the exact, step-by-step plan. How will the money come? Should I get a new job? Start a business? Invest in this or that? I need a detailed strategy. This obsessive need to control the process, to map every inch of the journey from here to there, fills your cup with the boulders of rigidity. It closes your mind and your energy field to the infinite, unexpected, and often miraculous ways the universe can deliver your desire. The universe operates in a realm of quantum possibility, not in the narrow, linear logic of the human mind. By insisting on your own limited plan, you are telling the infinitely intelligent cosmos, "Thank you, but I've got this." You are choosing your own flickering candle over the light of 1,000 suns. Imagine your inner world is a garden. For years, this garden has been untended. The weeds of self-doubt have grown thick and tall. The thorny vines of old resentments have choked the soil. The rocks of inherited dogma are buried just beneath the surface. Now, you stand at the edge of this garden with a handful of precious seeds of prosperity, joy, and freedom. You toss them into the garden and hope for the best. But what will happen? The seeds will fall on rocky ground or be strangled by the weeds. They will have no space, no light, no nourishment to grow. This is what happens when you try to layer positive affirmations on top of a lifetime of negative conditioning. It is futile. The real work, the sacred work, is not the planting of new seeds. It is the weeding of the garden. It is the patient, deliberate, and sometimes painful work of pulling up every weed by its root. You must look at each one, acknowledge it. This is the belief that I am not good enough, and then consciously release it. You must turn over the soil, removing the heavy rocks of old dogma. You must create a clear, clean, fertile space. This space is the void, the sacred emptiness. The human ego is terrified of the void. It equates emptiness with loss, with nothingness, with death. But in spiritual truth, the void is not an absence. It is the womb of all creation. It is pure potentiality. It is the silent, still canvas upon which the masterpiece of your life can be painted. It is the dark, fertile soil, empty of weeds, ready to receive a new seed. To voluntarily enter the void is to say to the universe, I release my need to know. I release my attachment to how my good will come. I release the identity of the person I have been with all their stories of struggle and limitation. I am willing to be empty so that I may be filled. This is the ultimate act of faith. It is the pinnacle of surrender. This emptying is not a passive act of waiting. It is a conscious practice. It is the practice of meditation, of sitting in silence and allowing thoughts to arise and pass without clinging to them. Each thought you let go of, is one less object in your cup. It is the practice of forgiveness, of willingly releasing the energetic cords that tie you to past hurts, not because the other person deserves it, but because you deserve to be free. It is the practice of asking yourself daily, what story am I letting go of today? What belief no longer serves me? What old version of myself am I willing to allow to die so that a new one can be born? Do not be afraid of this emptiness. When you let go of a belief that has caused you pain, what rushes in to fill that space is not nothingness, but peace. When you let go of the need to control the how, what enters is a profound sense of trust. When you let go of your old identity as a striver, you create space for your new identity as a receiver. Your task is not to fill the cup. Your task is to empty it, and then to hold the empty cup aloft with open hands, in a state of joyful and patient expectation. For a cup that is truly empty is not just a void, it is an invitation, it is a vessel. And the nature of the universe is to fill every vessel that is held open to it. It abhors a vacuum. By creating this sacred vacuum within yourself, you make the inflow of abundance not just possible, but inevitable. You are no longer chasing it. You are making yourself available to it. We have cleared the space within. We have created the sacred void by beginning the process of emptying our cup. Now, we arrive at one of the most vital and distorted principles on the path to abundance. You have been told about the law of attraction, a concept that has been simplified and sold as a kind of cosmic ordering system. You have been taught to visualize what you want, to focus on it with all your might, and to ask the universe to deliver it, as if you were placing an order from a celestial catalogue. This is why so many of you are frustrated. This is why your affirmations feel hollow and your vision boards gather dust. It is because the fundamental premise you were given is flawed. The universe does not respond to want. Wanting is a declaration of absence. The universe responds to resonance. It responds to the truth of your being. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you are. Let us dissect the energy of wanting. To want something, by its very definition, is to exist in a state of not having it. The more desperately you want it, the more you amplify the reality of its absence in your life. The feeling of want is a frequency of lack. It is a hungry, grasping, needy energy. It is the energy of a hole that is trying to be filled from the outside. When you send out this signal of "I want wealth," the universe, which is a perfect and impersonal mirror of energy, does not hear the word wealth. It feels the powerful, dominant vibration of wanting, of not having. And so, it dutifully orchestrates circumstances that give you more reasons to feel the state of wanting. It is a painful, self-perpetuating cycle. The more you want, the more you lack. The more you lack, the more you want. It is the spiritual equivalent of running on a treadmill, exerting immense effort only to remain in precisely the same spot. This energy of wanting leads to frantic, forceful action. It leads to the hustle, the grind, the manipulation, the constant anxiety of making it happen. You try to force doors open that are not meant for you. You chase people and opportunities that are not in alignment with you. You live in a state of perpetual tension because you believe that if you stop pushing for even one moment, everything will fall apart. This is the energy of dissonance. It is you, a single instrument, trying to play a loud, desperate solo in defiance of the entire cosmic orchestra. And you wonder why it feels so difficult, so exhausting. You are swimming against the current of life itself. Now, let us replace this flawed model with the immutable law of resonance. This is where your true power lies. Imagine you hold in your hand a perfect steel tuning fork. This tuning fork is tuned to the key of C. Across the room is another tuning fork, also tuned to the key of C, resting silently on a table. You strike your fork. A clear, pure note rings out, sending invisible vibrations through the air. What happens next is a miracle of physics. The tuning fork across the room, untouched by any physical hand, begins to hum. It begins to vibrate in perfect harmony with the one you struck. It had no choice. It did not try to vibrate. It did not want to vibrate. It simply resonated with a frequency that matched its own essential nature. This is the law. You are the first tuning fork. Your fundamental state of being, the silent, foundational I am that exists beneath all your fleeting thoughts and emotions, is the note you are constantly sounding out to the universe. If your deep core belief is, I am insecure, you are vibrating at the frequency of insecurity. The universe, filled with an infinity of potential experiences, will then cause all the people, situations, and events that resonate with insecurity to vibrate in your life. You will attract untrustworthy partners, unstable financial situations, and events that prove your insecurity is justified. If your core state of being is, I am peace, you are sounding a different note entirely. You will find that chaotic people drift out of your life. You will discover solutions to problems with ease. You will experience a sense of flow and grace. The opportunities and people that resonate with peace will begin to hum in your experience, drawn to you without effort, without force. The profound shift, then, is from wanting to being. It is a shift in your fundamental identity. You must stop wanting to be wealthy and start being wealth. You must stop wanting to be loved and start being love. You must stop wanting security and start being security. This may sound like a semantic game, but it is the most important energetic transition you will ever make. To want is to stand on the outside of a door, begging to be let in. To be is to realize you are always inside the room. So how does one be something that has not yet materialized in the physical world? You do it by embodying the feeling of the wish fulfilled. This is the secret of all the great mystics and masters. They understood that imagination is not a tool for fantasy, but a tool for creation. Your task is not to visualize $1 million appearing in your bank account. That is still an act of wanting, of seeing something as separate from you. Your task is to ask, who would I be if I were already the person who is financially free and secure? And then you embody that state. How would that person stand? How would they breathe? Would their shoulders be hunched with worry or relaxed and open? Would their gaze be darting about in fear, or would it be calm and steady? Would their heart be racing with anxiety or beating with a slow rhythm of trust? You practice feeling that state in your body. Now, you walk as that person. You speak as that person. You make decisions as that person. You are not faking it till you make it. You are aligning with a deeper truth about your own infinite nature before the external world has caught up. You are striking the tuning fork of your desired reality, and you are holding that note with faith until the physical world, by law, begins to resonate with it. A person who is abundance does not operate from a place of fear. When they pay for their groceries, they do not feel a pang of loss. They feel a sense of joyful circulation, knowing that the energy they release will return to them multiplied. They might leave a generous tip for a waiter, not as a performative act, but because it is a natural expression of their state of overflow. A person who is peace does not engage in petty arguments or surround themselves with drama. They naturally withdraw from chaotic situations, not out of avoidance, but because the frequency of that chaos is dissonant with their own inner state. It feels unpleasant, like a screeching noise. Here is a simple test to know where you stand. Think of your deepest desire. Now, feel into your body. Does the thought of it create a feeling of tension, of desperate, hungry reaching? Does it feel like something far away in the future that you must run towards? That is the energy of want. Or does the thought of it bring a quiet smile to your face, a feeling of calm recognition, of homecoming, a peaceful, expansive feeling in your chest, as if you are simply remembering who you already are. That is the energy of being. That is the resonance that reshapes worlds. Stop pleading with the mirror to change. It cannot. It can only show you what is there. Turn away from the mirror and focus on the face you are presenting to it. The journey to abundance is an inside job. It is the journey from the desperate plea of I want to the powerful declaration of I am. You are not trying to attract a future you. You are allowing the true you to be expressed right now. Forget about wanting. Focus only on your being. Strike the tuning fork of your true divine self and then stand in stillness. The entire universe will have no choice but to harmonize with your song. And the most powerful way to amplify this broadcast, to turn the volume up on your true state of being, is through the profound and transformative alchemy of gratitude. If resonance is the law that governs the universe, then gratitude is the master key that tunes your being to the highest possible frequency. We have been taught to think of gratitude as a polite afterthought, a social pleasantry, a moral obligation to say thank you for the things we receive. This is like using a key to the kingdom as a simple paperweight. You must understand, gratitude is not a platitude. It is a technology of consciousness. It is a form of spiritual alchemy so powerful that it can transmute the lead of lack into the gold of abundance. It is the single most potent catalyst for shifting your energetic broadcast from one of scarcity to one of absolute overflowing wealth. Let us explore the mechanics of this force. As we have established, your reality is a mirror of your dominant inner state. The state of lack is a vibration of what is missing. It is a constant, anxious scanning of your life for the gaps, the debts, the problems, the fears. Your focus on these gaps is a powerful prayer for more gaps. You are telling the universe, the theme of my reality is not enough. The universe, being an obedient servant to your consciousness, responds by providing endless evidence to support your chosen theme. Now, consider gratitude. Genuine, heartfelt gratitude is the energetic opposite of lack. It is physically and vibrationally impossible to be in a state of true gratitude and a state of fear or lack at the same time. They are mutually exclusive frequencies. The moment you enter a state of gratitude, you are, by definition, focusing on what is present. You are acknowledging what is whole, what is good, what is already a gift in your life. This act of conscious acknowledgement is a powerful declaration to the cosmos. It is a signal that says, I have enough, I am cared for, I am supported. This is the foundational frequency of abundance. When you broadcast the signal of, I have enough, the universal law of resonance must, by its very nature, bring you more experiences that match this feeling. Enough becomes the seed of more than enough. It is the fertile ground from which all material multiplication grows. You are shifting your focus from the hole in the donut to the donut itself. And as you give your attention and your energy to the deliciousness of the donut, the universe simply says, ah, you enjoy donuts. Here are more. It is that simple and that profound. Imagine your consciousness is like the light of the sun on a cool day. In its normal state, it is scattered, diffused, and its warmth is gentle but weak. This is the mind preoccupied with 1,000 different worries, complaints, and distractions. Its energy is dissipated and has little creative power. Gratitude is the alchemical magnifying glass. It does not create new light, but it takes all the scattered rays of your awareness and focuses them into a single, coherent, powerful beam. It gathers the weak, diffused warmth of your consciousness and concentrates it onto one point. That point is the good that is present in your life, right now. When you hold this lens of gratitude steady, focusing the full power of your awareness on a single blessing, an incredible thing happens. A point of ignition is created. The concentrated energy of your grateful attention generates an intense spiritual heat. It amplifies the energy of the very thing you are grateful for, causing it to vibrate at a higher intensity. This amplified vibration then attracts more experiences of a similar high frequency. You are not just appreciating what is, you are actively multiplying it. You are taking the small ember of good that you have found, and by focusing your grateful attention upon it, you are fanning it into a roaring fire. This is not just a metaphor. This is the creative process of the universe in action. Where your focused, grateful attention goes, energy flows and reality grows. But how do we practice this alchemy? Many of you have tried keeping a gratitude journal, listing 5 things you are thankful for before bed. This is a noble start, but it often becomes a mechanical, intellectual exercise. You write my apartment, my job, my cat, but you feel nothing. The magic is not in the words on the page. The power is in the feeling in your body. The alchemy is in the embodiment. Let us move beyond the list and into the visceral experience. I invite you now to try this. Cease simply hearing these words and participate. Pick one simple thing in your immediate experience. Perhaps it is the chair that is supporting you. Do not just think, I am grateful for this chair. That is the surface level. Go deeper. Close your eyes if it helps. Feel the actual sensation of the chair beneath you. Feel its solidity, its unwavering support. It is holding you completely, asking for nothing in return. Allow the feeling of being supported to saturate your body. Now, let your awareness expand. Think of the tree that grew for decades, its wood forming the structure of this chair. Think of the sunlight and the rain that nourished it. Think of the hands of the logger, the factory worker, the designer who brought it into being. Think of the journey it took to arrive here, in this room, to support you in this very moment. Can you feel how this one simple chair is a point of connection to an entire web of life and energy? Can you feel the wave of genuine, heartfelt appreciation that rises from this deep consideration? That feeling, that warmth spreading through your chest, that is the currency. That is the alchemical fire. Apply this to anything. Your breath. Do not just be grateful for your breath. Feel the exquisite sensation of air entering your nostrils, filling your lungs, giving life to every one of your trillions of cells. It is a constant, silent gift, an act of grace that occurs without your command. Feel the sheer wonder of it. This deep, cellular gratitude transforms your entire energetic state. It shifts you from a being who is trying to get to a being who is constantly receiving. And when you become a master receiver, the universe delights in giving you more to receive. The master-level practice of this alchemy is to learn to be grateful for your challenges. This sounds paradoxical and difficult, but it is the key to absolute freedom. You are not grateful for the pain or the suffering. You are grateful for the gift that was hidden within the painful wrapping paper. You look back at a past failure and you feel gratitude for the resilience it forged in you. You look at a past betrayal and you feel gratitude for the wisdom it taught you about discernment and self-worth. You look at a period of financial hardship and you feel gratitude for the resourcefulness and creativity it forced you to discover within yourself. When you can genuinely thank your past struggles for the strength they gave you, you have completed the alchemical process. You have transmuted the heaviest lead into the purest gold. You have declared to the universe that nothing can defeat you, because everything that happens ultimately serves your growth. A person with this level of mastery is unstoppable, for they have removed all resistance and have learned to see the hand of grace in all things. This is the multiplier effect in action. When you are truly grateful for the small amount of money in your wallet, you treat it with respect, you use it with wisdom, and you open the door for more money to come to you to be cared for in the same way. When you are deeply grateful for one loyal friend, you radiate an energy of appreciation that makes you magnetic to other good people. Gratitude is the ultimate state of receivership. It is the open-armed, open-hearted declaration that life is good, and you are ready to receive more of its goodness. It is the most beautiful prayer there is, for it is not a prayer of asking, but a prayer of acknowledging what has already been given. But what happens when the mind, conditioned for noise, interrupts this state of grateful peace? We must then learn to find the power that lies not in the noise, but in the silence between the thoughts. We have spoken of frequencies, of resonance, of the alchemical power of gratitude. These are the tools for tuning your instrument. But now, we must enter the concert hall itself, the sacred space where the music of the cosmos is truly heard. This space is not in the world outside you. It is in the profound, expansive stillness that lies between your thoughts. For generations, you have been taught that your mind is your greatest asset. You have been trained to think, to analyze, to plan, to worry, to strategize. You believe that the constant chatter of the voice in your head is you, and that the solutions to your problems must be forged in the noisy factory of your intellect. This is the greatest limitation you have placed upon yourself. The thinking mind, with its endless loops of past regrets and future anxieties, is not the source of your genius, it is the source of your resistance. The breakthrough ideas, the quantum leaps of insight, the elegant solutions that create effortless abundance, do not come from the noise of your thoughts. They whisper to you from the silence in between. Imagine your mind is a vast and beautiful lake. For most of your life, the winds of fear, desire, and worldly conditioning have been blowing relentlessly across its surface. These winds whip the water into a constant agitation of waves. Each wave is a thought. A worry about a bill is a wave. A memory of an old argument is a wave. A fantasy of a future success is a wave. This constant turbulence churns up the sediment from the bottom of the lake, the mud of your deepest fears and oldest conditioning, making the water cloudy and opaque. Standing on the shore, you look at this turbulent, muddy water, and you believe that is the lake. You cannot see the clear, pristine depths. You cannot see the vast treasures, the sunken chests of pure gold, the luminous pearls of wisdom that lie motionless and silent on the lakebed. And because the surface is so agitated, it cannot reflect the clear blue sky, the infinite intelligence of the cosmos above. Your typical strategy for finding a treasure, for finding a solution to a problem, is to become frustrated with the waves. You try to fight them, to argue with your thoughts, which is like trying to flatten the water with your hands. This only creates more splashing, more turmoil. Or you try to outthink the problem, which is like blowing more wind across the lake, hoping it will somehow arrange the waves in a more pleasing pattern. It is an exhausting and futile exercise. The path of the master is entirely different. The master does not fight the waves. The master does not try to control the wind. The master sits on the shore in perfect stillness, and by doing so, the winds of compulsive thought naturally begin to subside. As the wind dies down, the waves grow smaller. The mud begins to settle. The water becomes clear. And for the first time, you can see the treasures that were there all along. In the perfect stillness, the surface of the lake becomes a flawless mirror, perfectly reflecting the infinite wisdom of the sky. This stillness is not a state you must create. It is your natural state. It is the background of awareness that has always been there, obscured by the noise of thought. You are not your thoughts. This is the most liberating realization you can have. There is the thought, and then there is the you that is aware of the thought. That awareness is the beginning of freedom. It is the sky that holds the clouds. The clouds come and go, but the sky remains, unstained and unchanged. I invite you to experience this now. Wherever you are, simply become aware of the sounds around you. Do not label them. Do not judge them as good or bad. Just listen. Listen as if you were hearing for the first time. In this state of pure listening, a certain alertness arises. Now, turn that same alertness inward. Listen for your next thought. Do not try to produce one. Simply wait for it to arise, like a cat watching a mouse hole. Be intensely present and wait. What do you notice in that moment of waiting? There is a brief gap, a silent pause before the next thought trickles in. It may last only a second or two, but it is there. That is the portal. That is the gateway. That is the stillness between your thoughts. Do not be mistaken. This gap is not an empty void. It is not nothingness. It is the womb of all creation. It is pure consciousness, unconditioned and full of potential. It is the field of infinite intelligence. Every piece of transcendent art, every stroke of scientific genius, every elegant business solution that has ever changed the world was born in this gap. The conscious mind did not create it. The conscious mind, in a moment of relaxation and surrender, simply got out of the way, and the idea dropped in from this field of pure knowing. The million-dollar idea you are searching for will not be found by stressing and straining your brain. It will whisper itself to you when your mind is quiet. It will arise when you are taking a shower, or walking in nature, or in that lucid state just before you fall asleep. It will come when you have let go of the problem and entered a state of inner peace. The anxious mind can only rearrange the old furniture of what it already knows. Infinite intelligence, accessed through stillness, can create a whole new world. This is how abundance is truly manifested. It is not about struggling to find the answers. It is about becoming quiet enough to hear the answers that are already there. It is a shift from active, egoic striving to passive, conscious receivership. When you are faced with a financial problem, the conditioned response is to panic, to brainstorm frantically, to churn the waters of the lake into a muddy mess. The response of the master is to sit in stillness, to breathe, to allow the mental noise to settle. From that place of calm clarity, the right action becomes obvious. It will not be a panicked reaction, but a calm, inspired response. You will suddenly know who to call. You will have an idea for a service no one else has thought of. An opportunity will present itself that you never would have seen if your mind had been clouded by fear. You can cultivate this stillness. You do not need to retreat to a monastery. You can practice it for 60 seconds at a time. In the middle of your busy day, simply stop. Close your eyes. Take 3 deep breaths. For 1 minute, just feel the life inside your hands, or listen to the hum of the air conditioner without labeling it. These microdoses of stillness begin to rewire your brain. You are teaching your nervous system that it is safe to be calm, that you don't have to be thinking all the time to survive. You are creating new neural pathways, making the path to the silent lakebed more accessible each time. Let go of the belief that your struggle is noble. Your relentless thinking is not a sign of your dedication. It is a symptom of your disconnection from your own power. Your greatest insights are not at the top of the mountain of effort, but in the quiet valley of surrender. Your true wealth, your true genius, your deepest peace, they are not found in the noise of the next thought. They are waiting for you in the sacred silence that came just before it. As you learn to access this inner wellspring of peace and intelligence, you begin to realize a profound truth. You are not lacking anything. The very idea that you must earn or deserve this abundance begins to dissolve. We have journeyed through the inner landscape, clearing the ground and quieting the noise. We have discovered the silent power that waits in the stillness behind the mind. And now, standing in this newfound clarity, we come face to face with the oldest and heaviest ghost that haunts humanity. It is a shadowy gatekeeper that stands between you and your abundance, demanding a password you can never seem to remember. This gatekeeper is the myth of deserving. It is the insidious belief that your worth is conditional, that abundance is a reward you must earn through struggle, righteousness, or self-flagellation. It is the quiet, venomous whisper that asks, who are you to receive so much? Are you good enough? Have you worked hard enough? Are you worthy? Today, we do not answer this gatekeeper. We do not negotiate with it. We walk straight through it, for we will come to see that it is not a being of any power, but a phantom made of smoke and lies. Let us be perfectly clear. Abundance is not a reward for good behavior. The universe is not a cosmic parent keeping a tally of your virtues and your vices, deciding whether to give you an allowance. This transactional model of reality is a human invention, born from the ego's need to create hierarchy, judgment, and control. It begins in childhood, when we learn that love and approval are often given or withheld based on our performance. Be a good girl. Make us proud. We quickly internalize this program. Our value is not inherent, it is earned. We carry this program into adulthood, projecting it onto the universe itself. We come to believe that God, or life, or the cosmos, operates on this same conditional basis. We become spiritual beggars, hoping we can perform well enough to be deemed worthy of life's blessings. The ego loves this game. The idea of deserving keeps the ego in a position of power. It creates a perpetual project for the self, the project of becoming worthy. You must strive. You must prove yourself. You must atone for past mistakes. You must be better than others. It is an endless race with no finish line, because the ego's job is to maintain the race itself, not to let you win it. To win would be to transcend the ego, to realize the truth that your worth has never been in question. This is a truth the ego cannot survive, so it keeps you running, forever chasing a certificate of worthiness that does not exist. Now, step outside of this human-made prison of thought and look to the wisdom of the earth. Consider a great oak tree standing magnificent in a field. Does this tree, in the quiet moments of dawn, wonder if it deserves the sun? Does it count its good deeds to determine if it has earned the right to draw water from the soil? Does it look at the other trees and feel guilty that its leaves might be casting a shadow? The question is absurd. The oak tree does not need to deserve the sun. Its very nature is to receive the sun. The sun does not judge the oak tree. Its nature is to shine. The relationship is one of unconditional being. The tree is, the sun is, and in their mutual existence, there is a perfect, non-transactional exchange of energy. A wave does not need to earn the ocean. A wave is the ocean expressing itself in a temporary form. Your lungs do not need to earn the air. Their very existence is an invitation for the air to enter. You are not separate from this. You are the oak tree. You are the wave. You are the lungs of the cosmos. Your very existence, the fact that you are here, conscious and alive, is your non-negotiable license to receive all the good the universe has to offer. Your worth is not on trial. It is a fact of your being. What then are the real-world consequences of carrying this virus of unworthiness? It creates an energetic field of repulsion. The feeling of "I don't deserve this" is a powerful subconscious command to your reality. When a beautiful opportunity for wealth, or love, or joy comes toward you, this deep-seated belief acts as an invisible shield, deflecting it. You will call this bad luck or a close call, but it is the perfect functioning of the law of resonance. Your inner state of unworthiness cannot coexist with an outer experience of great blessing, so your subconscious mind, in its desire to maintain internal consistency, will orchestrate a way to sabotage the good thing. It will make you say the wrong thing in a crucial meeting. It will cause you to pick a fight with a loving partner. It will whisper to you that the opportunity is too good to be true, prompting you to find a flaw and reject it. This is the source of the upper limit problem that so many people experience. You achieve a certain level of success or happiness, a level you subconsciously feel you deserve. But as soon as you cross that line, as soon as life gets too good, an internal alarm bell goes off. The unworthiness program activates, terrified of this new, unfamiliar territory. It then creates a crisis, a sudden argument, a financial mistake, an illness to bring you back down to the familiar, safe level of your perceived worth. You then look at this crisis and say, "See? I knew it couldn't last." You misinterpret your own act of self-sabotage as a verdict from the universe, and the prison wall of your unworthiness is reinforced with another layer of proof. The antidote to this poison is not to try and build more worthiness. You cannot add to what is already infinite. You cannot make yourself more worthy, just as you cannot make yourself more human. You already are. The antidote is to simply and repeatedly declare the truth. It is to lay down the gavel of self-judgment. The moment you catch yourself questioning your deservingness, you must stop, you must breathe, and you must connect with the truth of the oak tree. Place your hand on your heart and state, either silently or aloud, "My worth is inherent and unconditional. It is my birthright to receive. I am an expression of life itself, and I am open to the full measure of my good." This is not an affirmation to convince yourself of something that isn't true. It is a declaration of remembrance. It is an act of realigning your energy field with the fundamental law of your own being. You are not a project to be fixed. You are a masterpiece to be discovered. Your past mistakes do not define your worth. They were lessons, experiences in the grand curriculum of your soul's journey. To the universe, they are like a child's scraped knee, a momentary event, not a permanent stain on their character. Let go of the need to be good enough for abundance. You are life itself, and life, by its very nature, seeks a fuller, more expansive expression through you. Your desire for abundance is life's desire for itself. It is not a selfish want. It is a divine impulse. To deny it based on a flimsy, man-made concept of deservingness is to deny the very creative force of the cosmos. So drop the heavy burden of your supposed unworthiness. It does not belong to you. It was given to you, and you can now give it back. Stand tall like the oak tree. Feel the sun on your face. You do not need to earn it. You only need to turn your face toward it and allow yourself to receive. This profound acceptance of your own inherent worth is the foundation. But what happens when this newfound sense of being meets the world of action? We must learn the difference between frantic effort and inspired, flowing movement. We have journeyed to the very core of our being. We have stood in the stillness, unbound by thought. We have accepted our own inherent, unconditional worth, realizing we are not beggars, but royalty in the kingdom of the cosmos. A profound peace begins to settle in this realization, but then a question, born of a lifetime of conditioning, surfaces from the quiet. So, what now? Do I simply sit here and do nothing? Do I wait for abundance to fall from the sky? This is a crucial turning point. Here, we dismantle the false dichotomy between being and doing. The spiritual path is not one of inaction, it is one of right action. You are here to be a creator, a participant in the divine dance of manifestation, but you must learn the difference between the frantic, exhausting action of the ego and the powerful, effortless action of the soul. You must learn to stop pushing the river and instead learn to flow with it. For most of your life, you have been taught to value one kind of action above all else: the hustle, the grind. This is action born from scarcity and fear. Its source is the core belief, I am alone in this. If I don't make it happen, it will not happen. I have to force my will upon the world to get what I want. This belief creates a specific energy, a frequency of struggle. Let us examine the feeling of this forced action. It feels heavy. It feels like pressure. It is the weight of 1,000 items on your to-do list, each one a should or a must. It is the tension in your shoulders as you work late into the night, fueled by coffee and anxiety. It is the constant racing monologue in your head, strategizing, worrying, calculating. When you act from this place, you are acting against a tremendous amount of resistance. Every step feels like a battle, because you are trying to impose your limited, egoic plan onto an infinitely intelligent universe that may have a much grander, more elegant plan for you. The hustle can, at times, produce results. You can build an empire through sheer force of will, but it will be a kingdom of anxiety, a palace of burnout, and it will require constant, exhausting effort to maintain, for it was built in defiance of the natural flow of life. Now, let us introduce a new way. A way of power, not force. A way of grace, not grind. This is the way of inspired action. Imagine life as a great, majestic river, always flowing steadily toward the vast ocean of infinite abundance and well-being. This river has a current. This current is the flow of the Tao, the will of the cosmos, the path of least resistance. The hustler, the person acting from fear, is in a small boat, frantically trying to row upstream against this powerful current. They are determined to reach a destination they have fixed in their mind, and they believe the only way is through their own brute strength. They sweat, they strain, their muscles ache, and they look upon their slow, painful progress as a badge of honor, a sign of their hard work. Meanwhile, they are fighting the very energy of life itself. The master of inspired action is in a similar boat, but their approach is entirely different. They do not even think of picking up the oars. Instead, they sit in stillness. They quiet their mind and they feel the river. They feel the direction of the current beneath them. They feel the subtle direction of the wind on their skin. They are not in a hurry. They trust the river's destination is far more magnificent than any they could have planned. Then, in a moment of perfect alignment, they feel a specific impulse, a gust of wind, a sudden idea, a creative urge, a gut feeling rises within them. At that moment, they do not row. They simply stand up and hoist a sail. The wind of divine inspiration fills the canvas, and the current of life carries their vessel swiftly, elegantly, and joyfully downstream. They travel much faster and further than the frantic rower with a fraction of the effort, because they are not fighting the river. They have aligned themselves with its power and are using it to carry them home. This is the power of inspired action. Its source is not fear, it is the stillness. It is the quiet whisper from your soul, your intuition, your higher self. It is a pull from the universe, not a push from your ego. The feeling of inspired action is unmistakable, but you must learn to recognize it. It feels light, it feels joyful, it often feels exciting, like a child's desire to play. Even if the action required is large and complex, there is an underlying current of ease and flow. There is no internal resistance, no feeling of "I have to do this." There is instead a feeling of "I get to do this. I can't wait to see what happens." During inspired action, the mind is often quiet. You are so present, so engaged in the act itself, that you are not worried about the outcome. You are simply enjoying the dance. Crucially, inspired action often does not make logical sense. Your egoic mind has a linear, step-by-step plan. To get more money, I must work more hours at my job. But the inspired action might be a sudden, inexplicable urge to take up painting, or to call an old friend you haven't spoken to in a decade, or to take a trip to a city you've never visited. The logical mind will immediately dismiss this. That's irresponsible. That has nothing to do with my goal. But the universe sees the entire tapestry, while you see only a single thread. The painting class might lead you to meet your future business partner. The phone call with the old friend might reveal a job opportunity you never knew existed. The trip might give you the breakthrough idea that changes everything. Inspired action requires that you trust these non-logical nudges. It requires that you have the courage to honor the wisdom of your heart over the limited calculations of your head. Your only task is to discern the difference in the feeling. Before you take an action, especially a significant one, pause. Place a hand on your heart and ask, What is the source of this impulse? Is it fear or is it joy? Does the thought of this action make my body feel heavy and contracted or light and expansive? Am I doing this because I feel I should or because it feels genuinely exciting and right? Learn to trust the feeling of lightness. The path of joy is the path of inspired action. It is the river current guiding you. The path of heaviness, of obligation, of shoulds, is the path of resistance. That is you, trying to row upstream. You do not have to wait for a monumental sign from the heavens. Start small. You might get a sudden impulse to read a specific book, listen to a certain song, or walk down a different street on your way home. Honor it. Act on these small, joyful impulses without needing a reason. This is how you build the muscle of trust. You are showing the universe that you are listening to its whispers. And as you honor the whispers, the universe will begin to speak to you more clearly. It will send you signs, confirmations, and messages to let you know you are on the right path. You are no longer a lone rower fighting the world. You are a sailor, a dancer, in perfect partnership with the cosmos. As you begin to move in this new, flowing way, you will notice the universe communicating with you more clearly. It will send you signs and confirmations. You must learn to read this divine language. When you align your inner state with the frequency of abundance, when you begin to move with the current of inspired action, something magical begins to happen. The world around you seems to wake up. Life ceases to be a series of random, disconnected events and begins to feel like a conversation. You start to realize that the universe has been speaking to you all along, not in words, but in a subtle, elegant language of symbols, signs, and meaningful coincidences. This is not imagination or wishful thinking. It is the experience of becoming attuned to the constant dialogue between your consciousness and the cosmos. Learning to read this language is how you confirm you are on the right path, and it is how the universe guides you, step by step, toward your highest good. We live in a culture that has demystified the world, telling us that everything is mere chance and mechanism. But the ancients and the mystics of all traditions knew otherwise. They knew that we are embedded in a living, intelligent system, and that our inner world is inextricably woven into the outer world. The language of this system is not human. It does not use grammar or syntax. It speaks through the flight of a bird, the lyrics of a song that comes on the radio at the perfect moment, a recurring number that appears on clocks and license plates, or a chance encounter with a stranger who says the exact thing you needed to hear. To learn this language, you must first let go of the need for logical proof and cultivate a state of receptive, childlike wonder. You must be willing to see the world as enchanted once more. This universal language has three primary dialects. The first is the dialect of signs. These are often simple, repeated symbols that appear in your environment as a form of confirmation or a gentle nudge. You may be deliberating a major business decision, feeling anxious and uncertain, and you ask for a sign of assurance. Then, throughout the day, you see a specific animal, perhaps a hawk, soaring effortlessly on the wind 3 separate times. The meaning of the sign is deeply personal. For you, the hawk may symbolize vision, freedom, and a higher perspective. Its appearance is the universe's way of whispering, yes, trust your vision. Rise above the petty details. This is the way. For another person, the sign might be a repeated number sequence, like 11, 11, or 444. These are like energetic signposts, markers on the spiritual highway, letting you know that you are in a moment of heightened alignment between your thoughts and your reality. Do not seek the meaning of these signs in a book. The true meaning is the feeling they evoke within you. It is the sudden shiver of recognition, the inner aha, the feeling of being seen and acknowledged by a force greater than yourself. The second, and perhaps most powerful dialect is that of synchronicity. This term, coined by the great psychologist Carl Jung, describes a meaningful coincidence two or more events that are not causally related, yet their occurrence together feels so meaningful that it could not be random chance. You are struggling with a complex problem, and you overhear a conversation between two strangers on a bus that provides the perfect, elegant solution. You think of an old mentor for the first time in 5 years, and an email from them arrives in your inbox an hour later. You are feeling lost and alone, and you randomly open a book to a passage that speaks directly to the deepest chambers of your heart. These are not mere accidents. Synchronicities are the universe winking at you. They are moments when the veil between the inner and outer worlds becomes thin, revealing the intelligent, orchestrated pattern running beneath the surface of reality. A synchronicity is a loud and clear confirmation. You are in the flow. You are thinking the right thoughts, feeling the right feelings, and moving in the right direction. Keep going. The third dialect is the internal language of symbols, delivered through your intuition and your dreams. The universe speaks to you most intimately in the quiet theater of your own consciousness. A gut feeling, that deep, non-verbal yes or no in the pit of your stomach, is a primary form of guidance. It is your body's resonant response to a person or situation, a truth felt before it is intellectually understood. A sudden mental image, a flash of insight that appears when your mind is quiet, is another symbolic message. And your dreams, when you learn to pay attention to them, are a rich tapestry of symbolic communication from your subconscious and higher self, offering solutions, revealing hidden fears, and pointing toward future potentials. This is why the stillness we spoke of is so vital. A mind filled with noise cannot perceive these subtle, internal symbols. A quiet mind is a clear channel for divine communication. Imagine that life is a magnificent, infinitely complex tapestry being woven by a master weaver. From our perspective here on Earth, we are crawling around on the underside of this tapestry. All we can see is a chaotic jumble of threads. We see knots, loose ends, and colors that seem to clash. It looks messy, random, and meaningless. We see a dark thread of loss here, a tangled thread of confusion there, and we cannot understand how it all fits together. A synchronicity is a moment when the weaver, from high above, pushes the needle down through the fabric and pulls it back up, for an instant pulling a tiny section of the tapestry taut. In that flash, we get a glimpse of the top side. We see the perfect, breathtaking pattern. We see how that dark thread of loss was essential to create the depth in a beautiful flower, and how that tangled thread of confusion was actually the intricate beginnings of a shining star. We don't see the whole design, but we see enough to know that there is a design. We see enough to trust the weaver. How then do you become fluent in this sacred language? First, you must cultivate a state of relaxed awareness. You cannot notice the whispers of the universe if you are constantly distracted by your phone or lost in the storm of your own thoughts. Practice being present in your environment. Notice the details. Second, do not desperately chase or hunt for signs. This comes from an energy of need and will only make the world seem silent. Instead, simply hold an intention to be open to communication and then let go. Let the signs find you. They will. Third, and most importantly, the feeling is your compass. A true sign from the universe will always bring with it a feeling of resonancia, feeling of peace, clarity, wonder, or a sudden, joyful click of recognition. If an event makes you feel fearful, anxious, or confused, it is likely just a random event that your ego is trying to weave into a story of fear. Let it go. True guidance is always empowering and brings a sense of calm. You are in a constant, loving conversation with an intelligent and responsive universe. It wants to help you. It wants to guide you. It is leaving you a trail of breadcrumbs, of feathers, of songs, of synchronicities, leading you home to your most abundant and joyful life. Your work is simply to lift your head, quiet your mind, open your heart, and learn to see the magic that is already all around you. As you become fluent in this divine language, your trust in the process deepens. This allows you to do one of the most difficult and powerful things of all, to let go of your desperate attachment to a specific outcome. We have now come to the most subtle and perhaps the most powerful art form in the entire practice of manifestation. You have learned to tune your consciousness, to create from a place of fullness, to listen to the whispers of inspired action, and to read the confirming language of the universe. You have done the inner work, and now you stand at the final gate. This is the art of detachment. It is the final, graceful turn of the key that unlocks the door you have been patiently waiting before. And here lies the ultimate paradox of receiving. Once you have set your intention and aligned your energy, you must let it go completely. To hold on to your desire with a white-knuckled grip of need is to strangulate it. To truly allow it into your life, you must release it into the care of the cosmos with absolute faith. Let us examine the energy of attachment, for it is the hidden saboteur of so many well-intentioned dreams. Attachment is the shadow of doubt. When you are constantly checking for results, when your happiness is contingent upon your desire manifesting, you are sending a powerful signal of disbelief to the universe. You are saying, I am doing this practice, but I don't really trust that it will work unless I see proof. This energetic state of anxious checking is a vibration of lack. You are focused on the absence of your desire, on the gap between where you are and where you want to be. And the universe, which is a perfect mirror, dutifully reflects back to you a reality where your desire remains absent. The more you need to see it, the less you will. Attachment is a form of energetic constriction. Imagine you want to catch a beautiful butterfly. If you lunge at it, clenching your fist, you will either miss it or you will crush it. To receive the butterfly, you must hold your hand open, still and inviting. It is the same with your desires. A clenched, attached mind cannot receive. It is closed. It is trying to force and control. It is telling the infinitely intelligent universe not only what it wants, but exactly how and when it must be delivered. The money must come from this specific source. The perfect partner must have these exact 10 qualities. The success must happen by this specific date. This is the finite ego trying to dictate terms to the infinite field of possibility. By doing this, you are closing yourself off to the million other pathways, often faster, more joyful, and more magnificent than you could ever conceive that the universe has lined up for you. Your attachment to one specific door prevents you from seeing the grand gateway that has opened just beside it. Let us use the metaphor of the gardener. The process of setting your intention, of clarifying your desire, and feeling the feeling of the wish fulfilled is the sacred act of planting a seed. You have chosen a potent seed. You have found fertile soil in the field of consciousness, and you have planted it with care. This is your only work. Now, imagine an anxious gardener. After planting the seed, he comes back every hour, gets on his hands and knees, and digs up the soil to see if the seed has sprouted yet. He worries if it's too wet or too dry. He frets that it's not growing fast enough. By his constant interference, his lack of faith in the natural process, he disturbs the delicate germination that must happen in the quiet darkness of the soil. He will inevitably kill the seed with his own anxiety. The wise gardener, the master of detachment, has a different approach. After planting the seed with the same love and intention, she waters it with faith. Then she walks away. She turns her attention to the rest of the garden. She trusts the seed. She trusts the soil. She trusts the sun and the rain. She knows that the seed has its own intelligence and that the process of germination happens in its own perfect time in the unseen realm beneath the surface. Her faith, Her willingness to let go and not interfere is the very condition that allows the seed to sprout and grow into a mighty tree. This is detachment. It is the profound trust in the unseen process. It is crucial to understand what detachment is not. Detachment is not indifference. It is not giving up. It is not adopting a sour grapes attitude of "I didn't want it anyway." That is a low-energy state of resignation and defeat. Detachment is an active, high-vibration state of trust. It is being absolutely committed to the essence of your desire, while being completely flexible about the form and timing of its manifestation. You are not detaching from the desire itself. You are detaching from your ego's rigid blueprint of how it must unfold. For example, your ego might be attached to receiving a specific promotion at work, because you believe this promotion is the only way to feel respected, creative, and financially secure. The promotion is the form. The feelings of respect, creativity, and security are the essence. A state of attachment clings desperately to the promotion, breeding anxiety and resistance. A state of detachment releases the need for the specific promotion, but holds firmly to the feeling state of being respected, creative, and secure. You say to the universe, "I am open to receiving this feeling of security and creative respect in my career. I trust you to bring it to me in the most perfect way. It may be this promotion, or it may be something far greater." This opens the floodgates. Perhaps you don't get the promotion, but an old colleague calls you with an offer to start a new company that gives you 10 times the freedom and fulfillment. The attached mind would have missed this opportunity because it was so fixated on the one locked door. The detached mind is open to the entire field of solutions. A beautiful practice to cultivate this state is to create a ritual of release. After you have done your inner work of visualization and feeling, imagine placing your entire desire into a beautiful luminous bubble or a helium balloon. See every detail encapsulated within it. Then, with a feeling of deep love and trust, imagine yourself releasing it. Watch it float up into the sky, higher and higher, until it disappears into the light. As you release it, say to yourself, "This, or something better, now manifests for me, for the highest good of all concerned. I release this into the hands of divine intelligence. I trust the process. I trust the timing. It is done." This symbolic act helps to transfer the responsibility from your small, anxious self to the vast, capable hands of the universe. You have placed your order with the cosmic kitchen. You do not need to go into the kitchen and tell the master chef how to cook. You simply trust that a delicious meal is on its way. This is the final liberation. It is the release of the burden of control. You move from the stressful role of being the project manager of your own life to the joyful role of being a co-creator with the divine. You do your part, the inner alignment, and you allow the universe to do its part, the outer orchestration. You have planted the seed in faith. Now, rest. Trust in the darkness. Trust in the timing. Trust in the gardener. This state of trust is particularly crucial when dealing with the most charged symbol in our reality, money itself. To truly allow it to flow, we must heal our deep and often unconscious relationship with its very energy. Of all the concepts we navigate in this human experience, none is more charged, more layered with contradiction and inherited pain than money. It is a symbol onto which we have projected our greatest hopes and our deepest fears. We see it as both a savior and a demon, the key to freedom and the root of all evil. We are taught to chase it relentlessly, yet we are also taught that to love it is unspiritual. This profound conflict within our collective consciousness creates an energy of immense confusion and resistance. Your personal financial reality is a direct mirror of this inner conflict. To invite wealth into your life is not enough. You must first heal your relationship with its very essence. You must make your inner world a truly hospitable place for the energy of abundance to reside. First, you must have the courage to look at the nature of your current relationship with money. For many, it is a deeply dysfunctional one. It is rooted in wounds that often began in early childhood. What were the first messages you received about money? Take a moment to feel into this. Was money a source of loud, angry arguments between your parents? If so, you may have subconsciously learned to equate money with conflict and instability, and you may push it away to maintain a sense of peace. Was money a topic of hushed, anxious whispers, a secret source of shame? If so, you may have learned to associate money with worry and guilt, ensuring you never have too much so you can avoid that uncomfortable feeling. Or perhaps money was simply never spoken of at all, a cold absence that taught you it was a scarce and unattainable thing, not meant for people like you. These early imprints form the foundation of your financial blueprint, the unconscious program that runs your life. On top of these personal wounds, we are layered with damaging cultural beliefs. We are fed contradictory proverbs. A penny saved is a penny earned, teaching us constriction, followed by, you have to spend money to make money, encouraging risk. More destructively, many spiritual traditions have created a false dichotomy between wealth and holiness. We are taught that to be spiritual is to be poor, to renounce the material world. This creates a devastating conflict for the conscious soul seeker. You desire a life of freedom, impact, and well-being, yet you harbor a deep, subconscious belief that to be wealthy is to be greedy, corrupt, or unspiritual. This is a binding spell of immense power. It forces you to choose between your spirit and your survival, ensuring you can never fully have either. How can you possibly welcome wealth with open arms if, in a hidden part of your heart, you believe it will tarnish your very soul? Let us reframe this with a simple metaphor. Imagine that money is a person, a guest you wish to invite into your home. You send out a desperate invitation. Please, money, come and visit me. I need you. But what happens when the guest arrives? As money walks through the door, you greet it with anxiety. You watch its every move with suspicion. You worry constantly that it will leave. When it sits on your couch, you resent it for taking up space. You feel guilty that you have this guest when your neighbor does not. When it's time for the guest to depart, when you must spend it, you cling to its arm, begging it not to go, creating a scene of painful, desperate attachment. You speak ill of it to your friends, calling it dirty or the root of all problems. Now, be honest. If you were this guest, would you want to stay for very long? Would you be eager to return? Of course not. You would feel unwelcome, judged, and stressed. You would make your visit as brief as possible and avoid this strange, inhospitable house in the future. This is how most people treat the energy of money. They desperately want it, but their inner state, their fear, their judgment, their guilt, their anxiety makes them terrible hosts. The energy of abundance, which is joyful, light, and flowing by nature, cannot and will not remain in a container of such heavy, constricted energy. Healing your relationship with wealth means becoming a gracious and welcoming host. A gracious host greets the arrival of money, whether it is a single dollar or a large sum, with genuine gratitude. I am so happy to see you. Welcome. They treat it with respect while it is in their care, using it wisely, directing it toward things that bring joy, value, and growth. They are not afraid to put it to work. They do not hide it under the mattress in fear. And most importantly, when it is time for the money to leave, they release it with a blessing. Thank you for your visit. Go and bless the grocer, the landlord, the artist, and circulate throughout the world, doing good. I trust you will return when the time is right. This is a relationship of ease, flow, and mutual respect. This is the energy that makes wealth feel safe, welcome, and eager to return to you, often with its friends. The healing process begins with bringing the unconscious into the light. Take some time to write a letter, as if you were writing to a person named Money. Tell it everything you feel about it, your fears, your anger, your disappointments, your hopes. Do not hold back. Then, when you are finished, imagine you are Money. Write a letter back to yourself. What would this energy, this misunderstood guest, say to you? What is its perspective? This simple exercise can reveal astonishing insights into your hidden beliefs. You may find that the energy of money is not your enemy, but a benevolent force that has been waiting for you to simply stop judging it. The next step is to neutralize the intense emotional charge. You must come to see money for what it is, a neutral tool. It is a form of energy, a current. It is not good or evil. It is an amplifier. In the hands of a person full of love and generosity, money amplifies that love and generosity. In the hands of a person full of fear and greed, it amplifies that fear and greed. The money itself has no character. It simply reveals the character of the one who wields it. When you truly understand this, you can let go of the fear that money will corrupt you. It cannot. It can only make you more of who you already are. This realization frees you to desire it without guilt, knowing that your good intentions will direct its flow toward good things. Finally, you must practice the sacred act of blessing your money. Every time you receive money, whether it's your paycheck or a coin found on the street, take 1 second to silently say thank you. Feel a wave of genuine gratitude for this sign of universal support. Every time you spend money, whether you are paying a bill or buying a coffee, take 1 second to silently bless it. See it flowing out into the world, helping the person you are giving it to, and continuing on its journey to help countless others. This transforms every financial transaction from a moment of potential anxiety into a moment of grace. You are no longer losing money when you spend it. You are participating in the divine circulation of universal energy. You are shifting from a mindset of hoarding to a mindset of flow. As you heal this deep and often painful relationship, you prepare the vessel of your life to be filled. You become the welcoming host. You see money not as a fickle master to be feared, but as a reliable and helpful friend. You treat it with respect, you receive it with gratitude, and you release it with a blessing. As you heal your relationship with receiving, it is equally important to understand the divine law of releasing. You must become not just a grateful receiver, but a joyful giver. For in the cosmic circuit, the out-breath is as vital as the in-breath. We have healed our relationship with the energy of money, transforming it from a feared master into a respected friend. We have learned to receive it with grace. Now, we must master the other side of this divine equation, the sacred and often misunderstood art of release. For the universe does not operate on a principle of accumulation, but on a principle of circulation. True, sustainable abundance is a current, not a stagnant pool. You have been taught that giving is a loss, a depletion of your resources. This is a foundational error in understanding the physics of consciousness. Giving is not a loss. It is the creation of a sacred vacuum, a void that the universe, by its very nature, must rush in to fill. To become a master of receiving, you must first become a master of giving. The entire cosmos operates on the law of circulation. A star does not hoard its light, it radiates it endlessly, and in this radiation, its nuclear furnace continues to burn. A flower does not hoard its fragrance. It releases it freely on the wind, and in doing so, attracts the bee that will ensure its continuation. Your own body is a perfect testament to this law. To stay alive, you cannot only inhale. The in-breath, receiving, is vital, but it is only half of the cycle. You must also exhale, giving. Imagine taking a deep, life-giving breath, and then, out of fear that you might not get another, holding it. Your muscles would tense, your face would turn blue, your body would flood with panic. The very act of trying to hold on to the life force would begin to extinguish it. It is only in the moment that you trust, and you release the old, stale air, that you create the capacity for the next fresh, nourishing breath to enter. Life is not in the breath itself, but in the rhythmic, trusting flow of the breath. So it is with abundance. Giving is the exhale. It is the act of trust that makes space for the new to be received. When you give freely, from a place of sufficiency and trust, you are making one of the most powerful declarations possible to the universe. You are stating, non-verbally, I have enough. I am so confident in my infinite source that I can release this without fear. I know there is more where this came from. This is the pinnacle of abundance consciousness. It is a vibration of pure faith. And the universe, which mirrors your state of being, must respond by bringing you more experiences to be confident and faithful about. You are moving from the fearful identity of a container, terrified of springing a leak, to the powerful identity of a channel, a conduit through which the infinite wealth of the cosmos can flow. The universe is always seeking conduits. It will entrust its greatest resources not to those who hoard them, but to those who can be trusted to keep them in circulation. Conversely, the act of hoarding, of clinging tightly to what you have, is a declaration of fear. It is a prayer of scarcity. It broadcasts the signal, this is all there is, I am afraid, my source is limited. This constricted, fearful energy closes the very channels you wish were open. It is like damming a river to keep all the water for yourself. You may create a small, stagnant pond, but you have cut yourself off from the living, flowing power of the river itself. The person who gives 1/10 of their income with joy and trust will always be more prosperous than the person who fearfully hoards every penny. One is aligned with the universal law of flow. The other is fighting it at every turn. The quality and intention of your giving are everything. Giving from a place of sacrifice or reluctance is energetically counterproductive. If you give $10, but your heart is filled with the resentful feeling of, I can't really afford this, now I'll be short, the dominant vibration you are emitting is one of lack. This negates the positive act. It is far better to give $1 with a heart full of genuine joy and a feeling of expansive generosity than to give $1,000 with a feeling of constriction and resentment. The universe does not respond to the amount, it responds to the alignment of the feeling behind the act. Always give from the feeling of, I have more than enough to share, even if the share seems small. Furthermore, you must expand your definition of giving beyond the mere transaction of money. Some of the most potent forms of giving require none at all. Give your focused, undivided attention to another person. In our distracted world, this is one of the most precious gifts of all. When you are with someone, be with them completely. Put down your phone. Listen not just to their words, but to the feeling behind them. The act of giving your presence creates a vacuum for deeper, more meaningful connections to flow into your life. Give a genuine compliment. When you notice something beautiful in another, speak it. This act of giving appreciation costs you nothing, but it sends out a ripple of positive energy that will return to you. It creates a vacuum for more beauty and appreciation to be seen in your own life. Give your forgiveness. Releasing an old grudge is a profound act of giving giving yourself the gift of freedom from the toxic energy of resentment. Give your wisdom, your experience, your smile, a helping hand. Your entire life can become an act of giving, and in doing so, it will become an act of constant, effortless receiving. Adopt the practice of the joyful tithe. A tithe is traditionally 1/10, but here, the number is not what matters. The principle is this: whenever you receive an unexpected good, a financial windfall, a piece of wonderful news, a moment of pure joy, make it an immediate practice to put some of that good energy back into circulation. If you get an unexpected check in the mail, immediately take a small portion of it and give it away. Buy a coffee for the stranger behind you in line. Leave an overly generous tip. Send a small, unexpected gift to a friend. This does two powerful things. First, it prevents the ego from immediately hoarding the good fortune and reinforces your identity as a channel. Second, it amplifies the joyful energy you have just received, creating a powerful magnetic signal for more joy to come your way. You are telling the universe, I am an excellent and efficient conduit for blessings. Send more. Give to that which inspires you. When you are deciding where to give your money, your time, or your energy, choose the channel that makes you feel the most expansive and joyful. When you give to a cause, an artist, or a person that truly uplifts you, you are energetically linking your act of giving with the feeling of upliftment. This raises your own vibration and creates a powerful positive feedback loop. Your giving should never feel like a dull obligation. It should be a joyful expression of your own abundance. You are not a warehouse designed for storage. You are a riverbed designed for flow. Your wealth is not measured by how much you can accumulate and hold. Your true wealth is measured by how much life, love, and value you can allow to flow through you to bless the world. The more you are willing to be a channel for giving, the wider that channel becomes, allowing the universe to pour ever more through you to receive. Cease to see yourself as a container with a limited capacity. See yourself as a conduit, open at both ends, and trust the infinite ocean of abundance that is both your source and your supply. This understanding of yourself as a conduit for an infinite supply directly challenges the greatest lie humanity has ever told itself, the lie of scarcity. We now arrive at the very foundation of all fear, the bedrock of all struggle, the primal lie that has held humanity captive for millennia. It is the belief that has fueled wars, built walls, and broken hearts. It is the operating system of the egoic mind. It is the illusion of scarcity. It is the deeply ingrained, seemingly logical, and utterly false assumption that we live in a world of limited supply, that there is only so much to go around, only so much money, so much opportunity, so much love, so much good. This belief is the hidden source of all your striving, your competition, and your fear of not having enough. Today, we are going to expose this belief for what it is: a collective hypnosis, a grand illusion, a bad dream from which you are now ready to awaken. The most liberating truth you will ever embrace is this: scarcity is not a law of the universe. It is merely a limitation of your perception. Your senses, and the logical mind that interprets them, will present you with a compelling case for scarcity. You look at your bank account and see a finite number. You look at the economy and see competition for jobs and resources. You see poverty and struggle in the world. From a purely materialistic and physical perspective, the world appears to be a zero-sum game. For one person to have more, it seems another must have less. For one person to win, another must lose. This is the logic of the survival-based mind. It is an ancient biological program designed to help a primitive creature compete for a limited amount of food on the savannah. It is constantly scanning for threats, for limitations, for what's missing. In the modern world, this outdated software is no longer serving your survival. It is strangling your divinity. It is forcing you, an infinite, creative, spiritual being, to live by the brutal and unnecessary rules of a dog-eat-dog world. To break free, you must adopt a new and truer metaphor for reality. Imagine the supply of the universe, the supply of wealth, of ideas, of health, of love, of joy as a vast, limitless ocean. It stretches beyond the horizon in all directions, its depths immeasurable. It is eternally full and self-replenishing. Now, imagine that your consciousness, your personal belief system about what is possible for you, is a bucket. A person who is deeply hypnotized by the illusion of scarcity comes to the shore of this infinite ocean with a tiny thimble. They dip their thimble into the endless water, collect a few drops, and then turn to the world and declare, "The supply is pitifully small. Life is a struggle. Look how little there is to go around." Their experience of lack is real, but it is a direct result of the tiny container they brought with them. It has absolutely no bearing on the immeasurable vastness of the ocean. Another person, beginning to awaken to the truth of abundance, comes to the shore with a bucket. They are able to receive more, and their experience of life is better. As their consciousness expands further, they discard the bucket and bring a pipeline. But the true master, the one who fully awakens from the dream of scarcity, does something else entirely. They realize the absurdity of trying to carry the ocean away in a container. They simply discard all containers and decide to live at the ocean. They build their house on the shore, and they come to understand that the ocean is their home. They can draw whatever they need, whenever they need it, for the supply is not separate from them. It is their very environment. Your job is not to fight for a bigger share of the water. Your job is to expand the size of your container, your consciousness, until you realize that you and the infinite ocean of abundance are one and the same. The evidence for this infinite supply is all around you, if you simply shift your focus from the seen to the unseen. Consider the most undeniably abundant resource in the universe: ideas. Has anyone ever used up all the good ideas? When one person has a brilliant idea, does it mean there is one less brilliant idea available for you? Of course not. The realm of creativity, of ingenuity, of inspiration is self-evidently infinite. And since the entire material world is nothing more than consciousness and energy taking form, the source of all matter must also be, by its very nature, infinite. The material world is simply a slower, denser vibration of the infinite realm of ideas. Modern science is finally beginning to catch up to the wisdom of the ancient mystics. Physicists speak of the quantum field, a formless, invisible field of pure potentiality from which all particles, all matter, all worlds pop into existence. This is the scientific description of the infinite ocean. It is a field of pure, unlimited possibility, waiting for a conscious observer to collapse the wave of potential into a particle of experience. Cosmologists will tell you that the universe itself is not static. It is in a state of constant, accelerating expansion. The very fabric of reality is generative. The nature of life is not to contract, but to become more. To believe in scarcity is to place your faith in a static, dead universe, a belief that flies in the face of both mystical truth and scientific discovery. To live in this new reality, you must become a guardian at the gate of your mind, a detective of scarcity-based thinking. When you catch yourself thinking, "I can't afford that," gently stop and reframe it. Acknowledge the current reality without empowering it. Say, instead, "At this moment, I am choosing to direct the infinite flow of my resources elsewhere. I can have that, or something better, whenever I choose." When the news speaks of economic downturns, remind yourself, that is one reality, based on a collective belief in scarcity. I choose to reside in the reality of divine abundance, where my supply is sourced from the infinite, not from the world's economy. The ultimate test of your new belief system is how you react to the success of others. In the scarcity paradigm, another's success is a threat. It is a sign that they got a piece of the pie that you did not. This triggers jealousy, envy, and resentment. In the abundance paradigm, another's success is a cause for celebration. It is thrilling proof of the universe's generosity and creativity. It is evidence that the ocean is indeed full. When you can look at another person's beautiful home, their successful business, or their joyful relationship and feel a genuine sense of happiness for them, you have truly liberated yourself. You understand that their abundance takes nothing from you. In fact, it is a preview, a cosmic coming attraction, showing you what is also available to you when you align your own energy with it. To celebrate another's wealth is to attune your own vibration to wealth. Let go of the grim, burdensome belief in limitation. It has never served you. Scarcity is a ghost, a story, an illusion you have been taught to see. But you are the creator of your reality, and you can choose to tell a new story, a truer story, a story where the universe is wildly, extravagantly, and infinitely abundant, and where you, as a beloved child of that universe, are worthy of it all. This is not wishful thinking. It is aligning yourself with the truth of what is. As you begin to accept this truth of infinite supply, you need a reliable way to navigate your choices. You need an internal guidance system. Fortunately, you were born with a perfect one, the compass of your own body. We have journeyed far into the unseen realms of consciousness, learning to reshape our reality from the inside out. But now, we must return home, to the most immediate, tangible, and profoundly wise oracle you will ever possess: your physical body. For centuries, you have been taught to distrust your body, to see it as a mere vehicle for your brain, a source of unruly appetites and inconvenient pains. You have been conditioned to live from the neck up, lost in the labyrinth of your thoughts, completely disconnected from the vast intelligence that resides in your very cells. This disconnection is the source of profound confusion. It is time to remember that your body is not a machine. It is a finely tuned, exquisitely sensitive instrument for perceiving truth. It is a living compass, constantly pointing you toward your highest good, and its needle is the language of physical sensation. The thinking mind, as we have discovered, is a brilliant but unreliable narrator. It is a master storyteller, capable of weaving elaborate justifications for even the most self-destructive choices. It is colored by past trauma, swayed by the opinions of others, and beholden to the fearful agenda of the ego. The mind can lie to you. It can tell you that a soul-crushing job is a sensible choice, or that a toxic relationship is better than being alone. It is a superb rationalizer. Your body, however, does not know how to lie. It has no ego, no agenda. It operates on the pure, incorruptible physics of energy and vibration. Your body is a resonant field, and it responds directly to the energetic signature of every person, every place, every choice, and every opportunity you encounter. Before your mind has time to construct a story about a situation, your body has already felt its truth. This is the basis of what you call a gut feeling or intuition. It is not a magical or mystical power. It is somatic intelligence. It is the wisdom of the flesh. Let us make this practical. Imagine your body as a compass, designed to guide you toward abundance and away from energetic drains. The needle of this compass is not visual, it is felt. It has two primary directions: north and south. The direction of north, your true north, is the direction of what is right, true, and aligned for you. The feeling of north is expansion. When you consider a choice that is in alignment with your highest good, your body will feel a sense of opening. You might feel a lightness in your chest, a warmth spreading from your heart. Your breathing may deepen naturally. Your shoulders might relax. There is a subtle, often undeniable feeling of yes, a feeling of more space being created inside you. This is your body's signal for go. This is the path of effortless flow. The direction of south is the direction of what is wrong, false, or misaligned for you. The feeling of south is contraction. When you consider a choice that is not for your highest good, your body will instinctively recoil. You will feel a tightening, a clenching. This is most often felt in the gut or the solar plexus, that familiar knot in your stomach. Your breath may become shallow. You might feel a subtle chill or a sense of heaviness. It is a feeling of no, a feeling of your energy field shrinking and pulling back to protect itself. This is your body's warning signal. It is telling you that this path, no matter how logical it may seem, will lead to resistance and a depletion of your life force. This inner compass is your infallible guide in all matters, especially those concerning wealth and opportunity. Imagine you are presented with a business proposal. Your logical mind might be dazzled by the potential profits. It will list all the reasons why you should do it. But if you pause, close your eyes, and tune into your body, what do you feel? Do you feel a joyful, expansive excitement that makes your heart leap? That is your compass pointing north. Or, beneath the mental excitement, do you feel a subtle, sickly knot in your stomach, a sense of dread, a feeling of being trapped? That is your compass pointing south. Your body can perceive the hidden, energetic intentions of the people involved. It can feel if the project is built on a foundation of integrity or deceit. The mind can be fooled by a good sales pitch. The body cannot. To ignore the wisdom of your body in favor of the mind's logic is to willfully walk into a storm because the map said it should be sunny. The key to using this compass is learning to calibrate it. You must relearn its language. Let's do that now. Bring to mind a memory of a time you felt pure, uninhibited joy. It could be a moment from childhood, a loving embrace, a moment of profound success, or a time you were laughing so hard you couldn't breathe. Relive that memory for a moment. Now, scan your body with your awareness. Where do you feel that joy? Is it a warmth in your chest, a tingling in your hands, a feeling of lightness behind your eyes? Pinpoint the exact physical sensation. That is your unique signature for yes, that is your north. Now, do the opposite. Bring to mind a memory of a time you knew you were doing something wrong, or a time you were forced into a situation that felt deeply uncomfortable and compromising. Perhaps it was a job you dreaded or a lie you had to tell. Do not dwell on the story, just evoke the feeling. Now, scan your body. Where does that feeling live? Is it a cold stone in your stomach, a tightness in your throat that restricts your voice, a heavy weight on your shoulders? Identify that physical sensation. That is your unique signature for number. That is your south. You are now a calibrated instrument. You know the two poles of your internal guidance system. The body's wisdom is instantaneous. It is the very first sensation you feel, in the split second before the mind begins its commentary. When you consider a choice, the body gives its verdict immediately. Expansion, it says. Then, a fraction of a second later, the mind jumps in with fear. But what if you fail? What will people think? It's too risky. Or, the body says, contraction, and the mind jumps in with rationalization. But you need the money. It's the sensible thing to do. Don't be a coward. Your practice is to learn to honor the first signal, the pure, uncorrupted truth from the body, before it is drowned out by the noise of the mind's fear or greed. To live this way is to live with energetic integrity. It means you no longer make decisions that violate your body's truth. You begin to choose the people, the work, and the environments that give you that feeling of expansion and lightness. In doing so, you naturally conserve and build your life force. You stop wasting immense amounts of energy pushing against the current of your own inner knowing. You find that your health improves, your creativity soars, and your path to abundance becomes smooth and joyful because you are no longer at war with yourself. You are guided by a perfect internal compass that was designed to lead you to the exact treasures that are meant for you. This deep trust in your inner guidance, whether from the stillness of the mind or the wisdom of the body, ultimately anchors you in the only place where true creative power exists, the sacred present moment. We stand now at the epicenter of all creation, the single point in all of eternity where power exists. It is a place so obvious that it is almost always overlooked, a reality so simple that the complex mind dismisses it. It is the sacred, eternal, and ever-present moment of now. You have been taught to think of your life as a long timeline, stretching from a fixed past into a distant future. This is the primary illusion that robs you of your power. The past does not exist. It is a collection of memory traces, energetic echoes stored in your mind. The future does not exist. It is a collection of mental projections, fantasies, and fears. These are phantom realms, and you have been bleeding your creative life force into these two thieves, yesterday and tomorrow, leaving your present moment, the only place where life actually happens, barren and powerless. Let us first examine the phantom realm of the past. When you dwell in regret over a past mistake or simmer in resentment over a past hurt, where is this happening? It is not happening back then. The event is over. It has no power. It is happening now. In this present moment, you are choosing to activate the old thought pattern. You are choosing to flood your body with the chemistry of the old emotion, the cortisol of stress, the adrenaline of anger. You are using the sacred creative power of this moment to meticulously recreate a past suffering. It is a form of self-poisoning. You are drinking the poison today, hoping the person who wronged you yesterday will feel the effects. The past is a library of reference, not a house to be lived in. To constantly dwell there is to bind yourself to a ghost. You cannot build a new, abundant future if you are using all of today's bricks and mortar to endlessly repair a house that burned down long ago. Every ounce of energy you spend regretting the past is an ounce of energy stolen from the creation of your present. Then there is the equally seductive mirage of the future. This is the realm of worry, of anxiety, of the perpetual what if. To worry is to use your divine imagination, the most powerful creative faculty you possess, to meticulously construct a detailed blueprint of a reality you do not want. You are, in effect, praying for what you fear. When you spend your present moment worrying about a future bill, you are not in the future. You are here, right now, feeling the constriction, the fear, and the lack as if it were already happening. You are broadcasting the frequency of lack in the only moment you have, now. The universe, which responds to your present moment vibration, has no choice but to orchestrate a future that matches the worry-filled reality you are currently creating. Furthermore, living for the future traps you in the "I will be happy when" syndrome. I will feel abundant when I get the raise. I will feel at peace when I retire. This guarantees a life lived in a state of perpetual incompletion. You are forever chasing a horizon that recedes as you approach it. For when your when finally arrives, your conditioned mind will have already created a new when to strive for, and you will miss the joy of the arrival, for you are already lost in the anxiety of the next destination. Here is the mechanism of power. Imagine your conscious awareness is like the full, potent light of the sun. It is always shining, always powerful. Now, imagine your mind is a magnifying glass. To start a fire, to create change, the magnifying glass must be held perfectly still, focusing all the rays of sunlight onto a single, unmoving point. At that point, the energy becomes so concentrated that it ignites the paper. That single point is the present moment. This is where all creation happens. However, the typical human mind is like a magnifying glass that is constantly flitting back and forth. It moves to the past to ponder a regret, and the point of light on the paper grows weak. It jumps to the future to entertain a worry, and the light becomes diffuse and powerless. It is constantly moving, scattering your divine creative energy across the phantom realms of yesterday and tomorrow. In this scattered state, your consciousness has no power to ignite anything. It cannot create change. The practice of presence is the act of learning to hold the magnifying glass of your mind steady, to focus all of your awareness, all of your potent life force, onto the single point of now. It is in this focused stillness that your power becomes absolute. It is here that you ignite reality. How do you enter this space? You are already here. You have never left. You have only been distracted. The path back is one of simple, gentle remembrance, using the anchors that are only ever available now. The first anchor is your breath. Your mind can wander to the past or future, but your breath is always, and can only be, in the present. The moment you bring your full awareness to the sensation of one inhalation and one exhalation, you have called your wandering mind home. You have brought the magnifying glass to a standstill. Try it now. Feel the air enter your nostrils, cool and fresh. Feel it fill your lungs. Now feel it leave, warm and complete. In that cycle, you were entirely present. You were powerful. The second anchor is your senses. Your mind creates stories, but your senses report only what is. Right in this moment, without labeling or judging, simply notice. Notice 5 things you can see. The color of the wall, the texture of the fabric, the light from a lamp. Just see. Notice 4 things you can feel. The pressure of the chair against your body, the temperature of the air on your skin, the weight of your own hands. Just feel. Notice 3 things you can hear. The distant hum of traffic, the sound of your own breathing. Just hear. This simple exercise yanks your awareness out of the non-existent worlds of thought and anchors it firmly in the undeniable reality of the present sensory world. The third and most direct portal to the now is the feeling of your own inner body. Bring your awareness inside your hands. Can you feel a subtle tingling, a vibration, a sense of aliveness? It may be faint at first, but it is there. That feeling is the energy of your life force, and it is happening only now. You cannot feel the aliveness in your hands yesterday. You cannot feel it tomorrow. By placing your attention there, you are entering a space of pure presence, a space beneath the noisy stream of thought. This is your anchor to being. Your life is not the story your mind tells you about it. Your life is a succession of present moments, this very moment, and this one, and this one. When you realize that the now is all you ever have, a profound shift occurs. You are no longer trying to get somewhere in life. You are already at the destination, for the destination is always here. You stop seeking abundance in a future event and begin to find the abundance that is present in this moment. The abundance of the air you breathe, the miracle of your own heartbeat, the simple fact of your awareness. The present moment is not a means to an end. It is the end. It is the only place where God, the universe, and the whole of life exists. It is the point of ignition. As you learn to inhabit this state of presence, you begin to see the roles you have been playing: the striver, the victim, the warrior are just costumes. You start to question the very foundation of who you think you are, realizing you are not your job and you are not your bank account. We have anchored ourselves in the only point of power, the sacred present moment. And from this place of profound presence, we are now equipped to ask the most fundamental question of all. Who are you? Pause for a moment and listen to the answers that arise from your mind. I am a doctor. I am a mother. I am an entrepreneur. I am a struggling artist. I am successful. I am broke. These are the labels we use to define ourselves, the costumes we wear to navigate the world. For your entire life, you have believed that you are these costumes. You have fused your sense of self so completely with these temporary roles and states of being that you have forgotten the actor who wears them. This is the root of all human anxiety. When your identity is built upon things that can change your job, your relationship status, your health, your bank account, you must live in a state of constant, low-grade terror, because you know, on a deep level, that all forms are impermanent. The path to unshakable peace and true, sustainable abundance lies in discovering the one identity that can never be taken from you. The human mind, in its quest for security, abhors the infinite. It cannot grasp the boundless nature of pure being, so it frantically seeks to define itself with finite forms. This is the process of egoic identification. From a young age, you begin to build a self out of the materials of your life. You identify with your body, believing you are this physical form. You identify with your possessions, feeling a sense of self in your house or your car. You identify powerfully with your roles. Your job title becomes your primary identifier in the world. Your financial status becomes a measure of your worth as a person. Even your thoughts and emotions become part of this construct. You are not a person experiencing a sad thought. You become a sad person. You are not a consciousness witnessing a brilliant idea. You become a genius. Your personal history, that long story of me with all its triumphs and traumas, becomes the scripture of your identity. To build your house of self upon these shifting sands is to guarantee a life of suffering. When your sense of I is fused with your job, then being laid off is not just a change in circumstance, it is a death. It feels like an annihilation of self. When your sense of worth is tied to the number in your bank account, a market downturn is not just a financial event, it is a direct assault on your value as a human being. This is the roller coaster of a form-based identity. Your inner state is perpetually tossed about by the waves of external circumstance. When things are good, you feel good. When things are bad, you feel bad. There is no true peace here, only the temporary relief of a pleasant circumstance or the constant dread of an unpleasant one. You have given the world complete power over your inner kingdom. To reclaim your power, you must perform the great spiritual shift from identifying with the form to identifying with the formless. And here is the metaphor that will serve as your key. Imagine that all the forms of your life, your thoughts, your emotions, your job, your financial state, your relationships, your body are like clouds in the sky. Some clouds are dark and stormy, like a period of anger or financial loss. Some clouds are bright, white, and puffy, like a moment of joy or a career success. Some are thin and wispy, barely there at all. All of these clouds are, by their very nature, transient. They appear, they drift across the sky, and they dissolve. They are constantly changing. For your whole life you have been identifying with the clouds. When a dark cloud appeared, you said, "I am dark and stormy." When a golden cloud appeared, you said, "I am brilliant and successful." You have been chasing the pleasant clouds and running from the unpleasant ones, completely forgetting one fundamental truth. You are not the cloud. You are the sky. You are the vast, open, silent, and ever-present awareness in which all the clouds of your life appear. The sky is not affected by the weather. A fierce thunderstorm does not damage the sky. A beautiful sunset does not improve the sky. The sky is the changeless, formless space that allows all the changing forms to be. It is the witness. It is the container. When you shift your identity from the passing cloud to the eternal sky, everything changes. You can lose your job, and the job cloud dissolves. But you, the vast, open sky, remain untouched. You can gain immense wealth, and the wealth cloud appears. But you, the sky, are not inflated by it. It is just weather. It is just a passing phenomenon within your own boundless consciousness. This is the discovery of your true self. This is the source of unshakable security, for it is an identity that is not dependent on any external condition. How does this relate to abundance? When your identity is form-based, you create from a place of need. You need the money to prove you are worthy. You need the success to feel valid. This needy, grasping energy repels the very thing you seek. But when you identify with the sky, with pure being, you create from a place of wholeness. You are already complete. You are already worthy. The money, the success, the recognition, they are no longer needed to fill a hole inside of you. They become a game you can play, a creative expression of the abundance you already are. Paradoxically, when you no longer need these things to validate your sense of self, you become a perfect energetic match for receiving them in limitless quantities. The fear is gone. This is the end of self-sabotage. Self-sabotage is the ego's defense mechanism, designed to protect its fragile, form-based identity from getting hurt or being overwhelmed. When you identify with the sky, what is there to sabotage? What is there to protect? You can allow magnificent success to flow to you because it does not define you. Failure becomes just another interesting weather pattern, a lesson in cloud watching, not a verdict on the nature of the sky. This gives you the ultimate freedom to create, to take risks, to play the game of life with a sense of joy and detachment, because your true self is never on the line. You can practice this disidentification every day. Pay attention to the way you use the phrase, "I am." When your mind says, "I am so stressed," gently catch it. Rephrase it in your awareness. I am the space in which the feeling of stress is appearing. When the thought arises, "I am a successful person," rephrase it. I am the awareness that is witnessing the thought of success. This simple linguistic shift creates a space between you, the silent observer, and the thought or feeling being observed. It is in this space that your freedom lies. Let go of the heavy burden of being somebody. Let go of the need to maintain the fragile costume you have sewn together from the scraps of your life. The greatest wealth is not what you have, but the discovery of who you are behind all the having. The deepest security is not a full bank account, but the silent, empty, and indestructible peace of your own formless being. As you rest in this formless identity, your entire perception of reality begins to shift. You are no longer a victim of circumstance, but a conscious architect. You are ready to dismantle the very framework of your old reality and build a new one upon the foundation of this truth. Having discovered your true identity as the formless sky, not the passing clouds, you now stand as the silent, powerful witness of your own experience. From this elevated vantage point, you are ready to undertake the most profound work a conscious being can engage in. You are ready to become the architect of your own reality. You have been living under the assumption that reality is a fixed, objective thing that happens to you. This is the great sleep. The truth is that your personal reality is a construct, a house built entirely from the invisible blueprint of your beliefs. Every experience, every limitation, every triumph is a brick laid precisely according to this inner design. To change your life, you do not struggle to repaint the walls of your prison. You redraw the blueprint and build a palace in its place. What is a belief? It is far more than a fleeting thought. A belief is a thought that you have practiced, repeated, and supercharged with emotion and experience until it has sunk from your conscious mind into the powerful realm of your subconscious. It becomes an unconscious assumption, a fundamental truth about the way the world works. It is a command that you have given to your nervous system. These beliefs are formed from the instructions of your early life, the repetitive words of parents, the doctrines of teachers, the pervasive messages of your culture. They are forged in moments of intense emotion. A single traumatic event or a moment of great triumph can install a belief in an instant. Once installed, these beliefs become the master program that runs your life on autopilot. Most importantly, your beliefs function as a powerful perceptual filter. They do not just interpret the reality you see, they dictate what you are allowed to see. Your brain is bombarded with billions of bits of information every second. To prevent overwhelm, it has a system, the reticular activating system, that filters this information and shows you only what it deems relevant. And what does it deem relevant? Whatever matches your existing beliefs. If you hold the core belief that opportunities are scarce, you can walk through a world teeming with possibilities, and your brain, obedient to your command, will literally render them invisible to you. It will, however, highlight every piece of evidence that confirms a lack of opportunity. Your reality becomes a self-validating feedback loop. Your belief creates your perception, and your perception then reinforces your belief. This is the nature of the prison you have unknowingly built for yourself. To begin your work as an architect, you must first survey the existing site. You must identify the faulty foundations upon which your current reality is built. How do you find these deep, core beliefs? You work backward from your experience. Look at an area of your life where you feel perpetually stuck: your finances, for instance. Observe the recurring patterns. Then ask yourself this powerful question: what would I have to believe is true about myself, about the world, or about money to be having this exact experience? Let the answers surface without judgment. Perhaps the answer is, I have to believe that I'm not smart enough to be wealthy, or I have to believe that money is inherently corrupting, or I have to believe that you have to suffer to succeed. There, right there, is the rotten foundation. These are the blueprints for the house of lack you have been living in. Once a limiting belief has been exposed to the light of your awareness, the demolition process can begin. The power of a belief lies in its unquestioned authority. You must strip it of this authority. Become a gentle but relentless cross-examiner of your own mind. Take the belief, for example, it's hard to make money. Ask it, is this 100% absolutely true for all people in all times? Immediately, you know the answer is no. You can find thousands, millions of examples of people who make money easily, joyfully, creatively. The moment you find a single counterexample, your belief is exposed. It is not a law of the universe like gravity. It is simply a rule from an old rule book that you have been choosing to follow. It has no power other than the power you have been giving it. Next, you must drain the belief of its emotional charge. Ask yourself, what has been the payoff for holding this belief? How has it served me? The answer might be surprising. Perhaps the belief that it's hard to make money has protected you from taking risks and facing potential failure. Perhaps it has allowed you to fit in with a family or community that also holds this belief. Acknowledging this misguided protective function allows you to thank the belief for its service, and then consciously decide that you no longer need that form of protection. You are choosing a higher form of safety, the safety of living in alignment with truth. The ultimate goal of this deconstruction is to reach a state of neutrality where you can hear the old thought, it's hard to make money, and feel nothing. It is just a nonsensical string of words, like the sky is purple. It no longer has any emotional resonance or power over you. The foundation has been crumbled to dust. Now, with a clear sight, the magnificent work of building begins. You must pour a new foundation. A foundation for the skyscraper of abundance you intend to inhabit. This is the act of consciously choosing your new beliefs. You are no longer a passive recipient of programming. You are the programmer. Your old belief was, I'm not worthy of wealth. Your new chosen belief is, I am an open channel for infinite abundance, and I am inherently worthy of all good. Your old belief was, opportunities are scarce. Your new belief is, I live in a world of infinite possibility, and I am a magnet for perfect opportunities. But simply stating the new belief once is not enough. The old belief had years of repetition and emotional energy behind it. You must install the new belief with the same diligence. This is done through two primary technologies, repetition and emotion. Affirmations are the tool for repetition. Repeat your new chosen beliefs daily, writing them down, speaking them aloud. But repetition alone is not enough. You must supercharge it with the power of emotion. When you state, money flows to me easily and joyfully, you must feel the feeling of ease and joy in your body now. Feel the relief, the freedom, the excitement. This emotional signature is what impresses the new command upon your subconscious mind. Practice scripting. Take a journal and write about your life as if your new beliefs were already your solid reality. I am so grateful for the ease with which creative ideas and financial resources flow into my life. Finally, you must actively seek evidence to support your new foundation. Train your brain to be a detective for your new beliefs. Look for proof that opportunity is abundant. Celebrate every small piece of evidence, from finding a coin on the street to receiving a compliment. This retrains your perceptual filters, creating a new feedback loop where your new belief creates a new perception, which in turn reinforces the new belief. This is the work, this is the art. You are the architect of your perception, the builder of your reality. You are not a victim of your past programming unless you choose to be. At any moment, you can pick up your divine tools. You can survey the old, crumbling structures of fear and limitation. You can lovingly and deliberately dismantle them. And then, upon the bedrock of your true, infinite self, you can begin to build a new inner world, a new blueprint from which a magnificent outer reality must, by law, be born. As you undertake this magnificent work of rebuilding your inner world, it is natural to feel that you are doing it all alone. But you must understand that there is an unseen, benevolent force, a silent partner in your creation, always supporting you. As you stand in the role of conscious architect, drawing the new blueprints of your reality upon the foundation of your true self, it is possible to feel a sense of immense, and perhaps even overwhelming, responsibility. The work of healing, of reprogramming, of holding a new vibration can feel, at times, like a solitary and monumental task. You may feel that the success or failure of this entire grand project rests solely upon your shoulders. It is here that we must introduce the most comforting and liberating truth of all. You are not doing this alone. You have never been alone. You are a co-creator in a grand partnership with a universe that is infinitely intelligent, profoundly benevolent, and utterly devoted to your success. Your work is not to build your reality from scratch, but to align yourself with the powerful, loving current that is already flowing, a current that has been trying to guide you home all along. The cynical, conditioned mind will tell you that the universe is a cold, random, and indifferent place. This belief is the very source of the lonely fear that forces us to strive and struggle. But look around you for the evidence of the truth. Look at the staggering intelligence woven into the fabric of nature. A single seed, no bigger than a grain of sand, holds the complete blueprint for a towering sequoia tree, and it knows with perfect certainty how to draw from the soil and the sun exactly what it needs to become, what it was always meant to be. The planets hold their perfect orbits without any effort. The tides ebb and flow with a rhythm of absolute precision. This is not the work of random chaos. This is the work of a profound organizing and life-supporting intelligence. And you are not separate from this nature. You are this nature. The same intelligence that guides the stars and grows the forests is the very intelligence that beats your heart and breathes your lungs, even when you are not thinking about it. This benevolent intelligence is not a distant force. It is the very essence of your being. Consider the deepest, most life-affirming desires of your heart. The desire for love, for joy, for creative expression, for peace. Where did these desires come from? Were they manufactured by your ego? Number. They were planted in your heart by life itself, as a divine homing signal, a call toward your own expansion and fulfillment. The universe would not instill in you a sacred desire without simultaneously orchestrating the means for its realization. The desire is the promise. The very fact that you can dream of a more abundant life is proof that such a life is a real vibrational potential waiting for you to align with it. The universe is not a neutral observer of your journey. It is your silent partner, your biggest investor, your most devoted fan, actively conspiring in your favor. Let us use a simple metaphor. Imagine a small child learning to walk. She stands unsteadily, her eyes fixed on her loving parent standing across the room. Her whole being is focused on the goal. She takes a clumsy step, then another. She wobbles, she falls. She might cry for a moment in frustration. Now, see this scene from the parent's perspective. The parent's face is not one of judgment. It is filled with unconditional love, with patience, with absolute encouragement. The parent does not see the fall as a failure. They see it as a courageous and necessary part of the learning process. Their arms are outstretched, not to interfere, but to provide a sense of safety and a welcoming destination. The child's courage to get up and try again comes from this deep, unspoken trust. She knows, on an instinctual level, that she is safe, that she is loved, and that she is moving toward a source of comfort and joy. You are that child. The universe is that loving parent. In your daily life, you are focused on the small, uncertain steps. You stumble over a financial challenge. You fall into a moment of doubt. You feel the temporary sting of a perceived failure. And in these moments, you might feel lost and alone. But you must learn to feel the unseen reality, that the entire cosmos is watching you with infinite love and patience. The synchronicities and signs it sends you are the parent's encouraging words. The inspired ideas and gut feelings it gives you are the parent's outstretched arms. The universe has absolute faith in your ability to succeed. Its support is the constant, unwavering safety net of grace into which you can afford to fall, again and again, knowing you will always be caught and encouraged to rise. Your work, then, is to cultivate your trust in this unseen support. It is to consciously shift from the mindset of a lone striver to that of a cherished partner. You do this by learning to surrender. Surrender is not giving up. It is the active and courageous release of the burden of having to figure everything out by yourself. It is doing your part, the inner work of alignment and inspired action, and then handing the rest over to your silent, powerful partner. After you have done your visualization, after you have taken the inspired step, learn to say, either silently or aloud, "Okay, universe, I have done my part. The rest is up to you. I trust your timing. I trust your methods. I am open to your miraculous solutions. Thank you for handling the details." This is not a passive plea from a helpless victim. It is a confident delegation from a capable co-creator. You are acknowledging that your partner in this project has a vantage point you do not. The universe can see all the pathways, all the connections, all the possibilities across the entire tapestry of time and space. While you are focused on the single thread in your hands, it sees the whole magnificent design. When you hand over the outcome, you are giving this higher intelligence the freedom to work on your behalf, to arrange coincidences, to align opportunities, and to bring you your desire in ways that are far more ingenious and delightful than your logical mind could ever conceive. Look for the evidence of this support everywhere. It will not come as a voice booming from the clouds. It will come as the recurring thought to call a certain person. It will come as the perfect book falling off a shelf in front of you. It will come as a sudden, peaceful feeling that everything is going to be okay, even when the external circumstances look chaotic. It will come as the strength you didn't know you had during a difficult time. The universe is constantly leaving you love notes, constantly arranging help. Your job is simply to notice, to acknowledge, and to say thank you. The more you acknowledge this support, the more of it you will perceive. Let go of the weight of doing it all yourself. It is a false burden. You are profoundly, completely, and eternally supported. Your every breath is an act of this support. Your every heartbeat is a testament to this grace. Relax into this knowing. Allow yourself to feel the comfort and safety of this divine partnership. The journey to abundance is not meant to be a struggle. It is meant to be a joyful dance between you and the loving intelligence of the cosmos. As you deepen your trust in this support, you can finally relax and enjoy the fruits of your creation, not as a source of anxiety, but as a source of celebration. You have journeyed through the labyrinth of your own consciousness, clearing the shadows of doubt and deconstructing the architecture of lack. You have aligned yourself with the benevolent forces of a supportive universe, and so, inevitably, the tide turns. The flow begins. The fruits of your inner labor begin to manifest in your outer world. An abundance of money, of opportunity, of beauty begins to arrive at your door, and here, at the threshold of your answered prayers, you face a new and unexpected challenge, the challenge of joyful reception. For many on the spiritual path, it is easier to strive for abundance than it is to live with it. Having been given the gift, you may now feel too guilty, too anxious, or too fearful to actually open it and enjoy it. This hesitation arises from two great fears that have been programmed into the collective. The first is the fear of loss. This is the voice of the scarcity mindset whispering, "Be careful, don't spend it, don't enjoy it too much. If you do, it might disappear and never come back." This fear turns you into a worried gatekeeper of your own good fortune. You become a rich miser, your life experience one of poverty and anxiety, despite the healthy number in your bank account. You have invited the honored guest of abundance into your home, only to lock it away in a dark vault, never to be seen or enjoyed. You have successfully attracted wealth, but you have not yet learned how to have it. The second great fear is the fear of judgment. This is the voice of spiritual guilt, whispering, "Is it right to enjoy this luxury when others in the world are suffering? Is it not shallow and unspiritual to delight in material things?" This fear turns your blessing into a source of shame. You may feel an impulse to get rid of the money as quickly as it comes, giving it away not from a place of joyful generosity, but from a desperate need to cleanse yourself of the guilt of having it. You deny yourself pleasure and comfort, believing that this austerity makes you holy. In truth, you are simply refusing the gift that the universe, in its infinite love, has presented to you. To refuse a gift with guilt is to insult the giver. It is a declaration that you are not worthy and that the giver was mistaken in choosing you. To heal these fears, we must turn to the metaphor of the river. Your abundance is a mighty, flowing river, not a static reservoir. The very nature of a river is to move, to flow, to dance and sparkle in the sunlight, to nourish the lands through which it passes. Its beauty and its power are in its dynamic, unstoppable motion. The person who fears loss is like a man who frantically builds a dam across this river, determined to trap all the water for himself. He may succeed in creating a large private lake, but soon the trapped water grows stagnant. It becomes murky, lifeless, and choked with algae. He has the possession of the water, but he has killed its spirit. He has chosen ownership over aliveness. This is the fate of the hoarder who lives in fear. The wise soul, the conscious celebrant of wealth, takes a different approach. She does not try to own the river. She plunges into it. She is a joyful swimmer, a skillful rafter, delighting in the experience of the river's flow. She feels its cool power on her skin. She is carried by its currents. She marvels at its life-giving beauty. She knows that she cannot hold the water in her hands, and she has no desire to. Her joy is not in possessing the river, but in participating in its magnificent, ever-moving life. She is not afraid when the current carries her past a beautiful bend, because she knows there are even more beautiful vistas downstream. This is the art of enjoying your wealth without attachment. It is to joyfully participate in its flow through your life. This requires you to distinguish between enjoyment and attachment. Attachment is when your identity and your security become fused with the object or the experience. I am the owner of this luxury car. This car makes me worthy and successful. With this identity, the thought of losing the car is terrifying, a threat to your very self. Enjoyment, on the other hand, is a state of pure, present moment appreciation. I am so grateful for the wonderful experience of freedom and beauty that driving this car provides. In this state, you can delight in the experience completely while knowing that your worth is not derived from it. You can enjoy the car to the fullest, and if it were to disappear tomorrow, you would feel a sense of loss for the pleasant experience, but your core sense of self, the vast sky of your being, would remain untouched. Reframe the purpose of wealth in your mind. Its ultimate purpose is not to sit in an account, accumulating digits. It is a tool for the creation of beautiful and meaningful life experiences. It is a voucher for joy, for learning, for connection, for comfort, for beauty, for generosity. When you see money as a means to an experience rather than an end in itself, the ego's grip on it loosens. The goal isn't to have $1 million. The goal is to experience the freedom, the security, and the joyful impact that $1 million can facilitate. Practice the art of conscious savoring. This is how you extract the full energetic nourishment from your abundance. When you use your resources to create a beautiful experience, whether it's a gourmet meal, a vacation, a piece of art, or a perfectly comfortable sweater-do, not rush through it. Do not consume it mindlessly while thinking of something else. Be fully present with it. Engage all your senses. If it is a meal, taste every flavor. Notice the colors and the textures. If it is a piece of music, close your eyes and let the vibrations wash over you. Feel the gratitude for the experience in your body. This act of mindful savoring transforms a simple act of consumption into a sacred ritual of appreciation. It magnifies the joy of the experience 100-fold and broadcasts a powerful signal of gratitude back to the universe. And finally, understand that the highest form of celebration is circulatory. It is using your abundance to create joy and value for others. This is the ultimate expression of living in the flow of the river, allowing it to nourish the lands through which you pass. Take your loved ones out for a magnificent dinner. Buy a thoughtful, beautiful gift for a friend for no reason at all. Become a patron to an artist whose work moves your soul. Support a cause that you believe in. When you use your wealth to create joy for others, you experience the joy of the thing itself, compounded by the joy of giving. This is the fastest way to amplify abundance in your life, for you are demonstrating to the universe that you are a reliable and magnificent channel for its blessings. You are proving that every gift given to you is a gift that will be multiplied and shared. Do not be afraid to enjoy your life. The universe delights in your joy, your happiness, your pleasure, your celebration. These are not frivolous indulgences. They are your prayer of thanks. You honor the giver by delighting in the gift. So let go of the guilt, let go of the fear. Plunge into the river of your life. Let it carry you. Celebrate its beauty. This ability to live fully in your manifested reality, to enjoy it without attachment, is the practice of living in the wish fulfilled. But there is a way to access this state even before the physical evidence arrives. A powerful technique to pull your future into your now. We have now arrived at the creative center of your being, the divine workshop where worlds are born. We are going to speak of the most potent, most misunderstood, and most underutilized power you possess, your own magnificent human imagination. You have been taught to dismiss imagination as mere child's play, as idle daydreaming, a frivolous escape from the real world. This is like being told that the sun is merely a decorative lantern in the sky. It is a profound inversion of the truth. Your imagination is not the faculty that perceives reality. It is the faculty that creates reality. The outer world of circumstance is nothing more than a delayed, physical reflection of your dominant, imaginative activity. The great mystic Neville Goddard taught a timeless principle. An assumption, though false, if persisted in, will harden into fact. Your life today is the hardened fact of your past, persistent assumptions. To change your life, you must learn to consciously and deliberately use your imagination to assume the reality you desire to experience. First, we must draw a clear line between idle fantasy and creative imagination. They are not the same. Fantasy is passive. It is watching a movie of a life you wish you had. When you fantasize, you are often an observer. You see yourself with the new car. You watch yourself receiving the award. There is a sense of distance, of separation. The dominant feeling in fantasy is one of longing, of wanting, of wouldn't it be nice if. This state, because it is rooted in the feeling of not having, only serves to reinforce the reality of lack. Creative imagination is the opposite. It is active, not passive. It is a first-person embodiment. You are not watching the movie. You are the star of the movie, looking out through your own eyes. You are not seeing yourself with the car. You are feeling the leather of the steering wheel under your hands. You are not watching yourself receive the award. You are feeling the weight of it in your hands and hearing the applause from your position on the stage. The dominant feeling here is not wanting, but having. It is a feeling of naturalness, of satisfaction, of fulfillment. This is the quantum leap. This is the creative act. To understand this power, think of yourself as a master method actor, about to take on the greatest role of your life, the role of the person you desire to be. An amateur actor merely says the lines. He pretends. The audience sees the actor pretending to be a king. But a master actor does not pretend. He becomes. To play the role of a king, the master actor finds the feeling of royalty within himself. He adjusts his posture, his thoughts, his inner assumptions, until he is thinking from the state of being a king. He inhabits the consciousness of royalty. And when he walks on stage, the audience does not see an actor. They see the king. This is your task. You must stop pretending you are wealthy, or loved, or successful. You must, in the quiet theater of your own mind, become that person. You must assume the state of being of your wish fulfilled. Here is the practical technique, the spiritual technology for making this quantum leap. It is best practiced in a state akin to sleep, when the body is immobilized and the conscious, analytical mind is quiet. This state, just before drifting off to sleep or in a deep meditation, is the fertile ground where the seeds of new reality take root in the subconscious. First, you must know with clarity what you desire. But do not focus on the thing itself. Focus on the state that the thing would produce. You do not truly desire $1 million. You desire the feeling of security, freedom, and relief that you believe $1 million would give you. Isolate that feeling. That is your destination. Second, you must construct a short, simple scene, a single event, which would take place after your wish has been fulfilled. This is crucial. You do not imagine the act of getting the money. You imagine an event that implies the money is already yours. Perhaps you imagine a dear friend shaking your hand and saying, "I am so thrilled for your incredible success." Or you imagine yourself looking at your bank statement and feeling a calm, quiet sense of absolute security. The scene must imply the desire is a settled, accomplished fact. Keep it short, just a few seconds long, so it can be easily repeated. Third, enter a state of deep relaxation. Lie down comfortably, close your eyes, and perform a progressive relaxation of your body. Let go of all tension. Let the sounds of the outside world fade away. You are entering the gateway to the subconscious mind. Fourth, from this relaxed state, begin to loop your short scene. Replay it in your mind's eye, over and over again, but do not just see it. You must feel yourself into the scene. If your friend is congratulating you, feel the pressure of their hand in yours. Hear the genuine warmth in their voice. Most importantly, feel the inner response within yourself. Feel the swell of pride and gratitude. Feel the quiet satisfaction of "it is done." This is the critical component. you must saturate the scene with the feeling of its reality. Loop it, feeling it more and more real with each repetition, until it takes on the tones of reality, until it feels more real than the bed you are lying on. Fifth, you must enter the Sabbath. This is the state of rest. After you have successfully felt the reality of your scene, you simply let it go and fall asleep in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. The creative act is finished. You do not then wake up in the morning and anxiously look for signs, wondering if it worked. That would be the act of the anxious gardener digging up the seed. To enter the Sabbath is to walk in the quiet, confident assumption that it is already a fact. You go about your day with an underlying feeling of peace, the serene confidence of a person whose success is assured. Your job is to remain faithful to this new assumption, this new state of being. If thoughts of doubt arise, you simply return in your mind to the feeling of your scene fulfilled. This is not magic. It is the conscious use of the fundamental law of creation. Consciousness is the only reality. What you assume to be true and feel to be true becomes your world. Your imagination is the womb of reality. What you nurture there with faith and feeling must, by law, be born into your world of experience. You are not manipulating an external reality. You are modeling a new reality from within, and the external world, which is but a mirror, has no choice but to conform to the new image you are holding. As you master this incredible power to shape your reality from within, you come to the final, ultimate realization of this entire journey. You discover that the search for a source of abundance outside yourself was always a journey back to the only source that has ever existed, you. We have come to the end of our journey together, and in doing so, we have arrived at the very beginning. We have traveled through the inner cosmos, exploring the laws of vibration, the power of belief, the nature of reality, and the art of creation. Each lesson, each realization, has been a stepping stone leading you not to a new destination, but back to the one place you have never left. For the final secret, the ultimate truth of all abundance, is this. The search is over, because the seeker and the thing being sought have been discovered to be one. You are not a person who is trying to attract abundance. You are abundance itself, dreaming that you are a person. Let us trace the circle we have drawn. We began by understanding that consciousness is the true currency, that your inner state creates your outer world. The final truth of this is that the consciousness within you is not merely a tool to attract wealth. It is the very substance from which all wealth, all matter, all experience is formed. It is the unmanifest, infinite field of pure potential, and you are its living focal point. We learned that you do not attract what you want, but what you are. The final truth of this is that there is nothing outside of you to attract, for you cannot become what you already are. The entire work of manifestation is not an act of addition, but an act of subtraction, the subtraction of the false belief that you were ever separate from the good you desire. We dismantled the myth of deserving, realizing your worth is inherent and unconditional. The final truth here is that even the concept of worthiness is an illusion of the ego. The universe does not ask if you are worthy of it. You are the universe in expression. A star is not worthy of shining. Shining is its nature. Your nature is to be the fullness of life itself. We explored the power of imagination, seeing it as the workshop of reality. The ultimate realization is that your imagination is not your private faculty. It is the creative faculty of God, the universe, operating as you. You are the aperture through which the formless imagines itself into form. Every single step on this pathivary act of healing, of releasing, of creating, was designed to erode the illusion of a separate, small and lacking you, and to reveal the magnificent whole and infinite I that you have always been. To grasp this final truth, let us use our final metaphor. Imagine a single wave rising on the surface of a vast and limitless ocean. This wave has become self-aware, but its awareness is limited. It sees itself as a separate entity, a wave. It feels small, vulnerable, and temporary. It looks at the other waves, some bigger, some smaller, and it lives in a state of constant comparison and anxiety. It fears the day it will inevitably crash upon the shore, for it perceives this as its death, its end. And most tragically of all, this wave has heard stories of a wondrous, life-giving substance called water. It spends its entire, fleeting existence searching for water. It performs good deeds, hoping to become worthy of water. It prays to the great forces of the cosmos. Please, just bring me some water, and then I will be safe. Then I will be whole. Can you feel the profound, heartbreaking absurdity of this wave's quest? The very thing it is searching for is the one thing it can never be without. It is water. Its form, its movement, its power, its very substance is nothing but the ocean itself, expressing itself for a moment as a wave. The wave cannot find water because it has never been separate from it. Its awakening will not come when an external source delivers water to it. Its awakening will come in the moment of profound self-realization, the moment it ceases to identify as a temporary wave and remembers its true nature as the eternal ocean. In that moment, all fear vanishes. The fear of other waves, the fear of its own smallness, and even the fear of death, all dissolve in the understanding that crashing upon the shore is not an end, but simply a change of form, a joyful returning of its individuated consciousness back into the boundless whole of its true self. You, in your search for security, for love, for God, for abundance, have been that wave, searching for the ocean. The search is over. You are it. All the abundance you have been seeking in the world out there is but a pale reflection of the infinite, unmanifest abundance that is the very essence of your own being. You have been looking for a source of supply when you are the source. You have been trying to connect to the creative power of the universe when you are that power. To live from this realization is to experience the end of all striving. The frantic, needy energy of seeking is replaced by the calm, radiant energy of allowing and expressing. Creation is no longer a desperate act to fill a hole or validate a fragile ego. It becomes a form of divine play. You begin to create, not because you need something, but for the sheer, unadulterated joy of creation itself, just as the ocean playfully creates waves. An unshakable peace becomes your new foundation, for your security is no longer dependent on the fate of the temporary waves of your life, your job, your relationships, your bank account, but is rooted in the eternal, unchanging substance of your being. You are the silent, peaceful ocean, and you can now enjoy the dance of the waves without fear. So, we end where we began, in the sanctuary of your own magnificent consciousness. But you return not as a seeker, but as the source, not as a student, but as the wisdom itself, not as a creation, but as the creator. This is your homecoming. This is your truth. Rest in it, breathe it, live from it. There is nowhere else to go, nothing else to find, and no one else you need to become. I leave you with this final meditation, this ultimate truth. Settle into the silence. Let these words be your own. I am not a body. I am not a mind. I am the silent, loving awareness that witnesses both. I am not in the universe. The universe is in me. I am not seeking abundance. I am abundance. I am the source. I am the substance. And so it is. The journey through these words has come to its gentle close. But the true journey, the one into the heart of your own being, has only just begun. If there is one image, one truth to hold in your awareness as you return to the world, let it be this. The ancient poets and mystics understood. You are not a drop in the ocean, separate and small, fighting to survive. You are the entire ocean, with all of its power, its depth, and its boundless mystery, contained within a single, magnificent drop. Within your consciousness is the blueprint for all of creation. Within your heart is the source of all love. Within your stillness is the substance of all wealth. You are not a fragment of the universe. You are the universe, experiencing itself. Do not rush now to return to the noise. Linger here for a moment. In the quiet space, these words will leave behind. The most profound truths were not found in the words themselves, but in the silence you felt between them. That silence is your true nature. It is the canvas upon which your life is painted. Go to it often. It is your sanctuary, your oracle, and your home. The answers you seek are not in another book, another teacher, or another teaching. They echo in the stillness of your own heart. Carry this simple remembrance with you, not as a thought to be endlessly repeated, but as a truth to be felt in your bones. Let it be the rhythm of your breath. I am the source. I am abundance. And so it is. There is nothing more to learn, nothing more to do, nothing more to become. Everything you have ever sought, you already are. Now, simply be. Listen, the silence is your answer.